Monetization on. Bam, give me money. Let's go ahead and change the game. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Okay, let's go and share it. How's it going? We got 2 people already jumping in here. Give me 1 second while I go ahead and plug this really quick in the server. Let's go and plug in Goons, and then I'll go ahead and plug it in my server at StreamPong. Alright. So we should be good to go. Okay, so we should be free. I'm pretty sure we got everything set up just how we need to. And then we could also do like those quizzes too. I guess that's another option, right? We could do those quizzes too. That could be fun. I guess it's a matter of like what we want to start with. I'll kind of wait for people to come in here. I mean, if someone wants to give a suggestion on a tier list, if you guys want to look on the website yourself too. Actually, what I can do is I can pin this so people can look themselves. I can just post this and then go ahead and pin message. So yeah, if you guys want to scroll through, we can kind of look through and see what we want to start. Yo, what's good? Got some spicy takes? I might. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. This is a cool one. I kind of want to do this one again eventually. From the perspective of draft. I did this as a video. It's like one of my first tier list videos. I really like this tier list and the way it looks too. Maybe we'll do this one at the end of the stream or something like that to finish it off. It's a hell of a long one. I'm not 100% sure. We can do a bunch of things, and it also kind of depends on like from what perspective we really want to like rank these things from, right? Because I could rank them from draft, I could rank them from how cool I think they are, you know, like there's a bunch of different options. We can even start with like a gym leader tier list. I think all of them bitches. They even got the what do you call it? What are we tiering? That is up to you, friend. If you guys want to go ahead and pick one out for me, or if you guys have any ideas in particular, let me know. I linked it down there as well, so if any of you guys want to check it out, let's talk about buttered sausage. I don't know if they got a buttered sausage tier list, but that does sound fire. I did just eat lunch. You caught me a little bit after. Thank you for being a member for 3 months, by the way, Zeke. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. You guys want to let me know what to start with? We can start with something cool. And then we can decide on how we're doing it. Every Pokemon 2023. Everything. This is literally all of them. Holy shit. This is literally every Pokemon. Maybe one day I'll do this one. Maybe one day I'll do this one. If you guys are dropping in and you guys, want to drop a like on the stream, I'd appreciate it a ton. Helps us push out the stream more to other people. Overwatch support tier list. We'll do that one as a preemptive. I got you. Hold on. Let's go categories. While we wait for people. And then when someone gives me a Pokemon one, we'll do a Pokemon one. Here. I got you. Zeke, when are we playing? I know you said you played too. Hold on. Let's see. Support. Not the actual support. This is so lame. Unfortunate. Start off with waifus. Oh no, I don't know about that, brother. Maybe we'll have to do, maybe I'll start streaming on Twitch again and we'll do like Overwatch streams and stuff like that, because I play a lot of Overwatch, but I don't stream it because it doesn't do well on the channel, you know? So, we'll see. Box art tier list. I'm down with that. Let's do that. Maybe we'll come back to the support ones, Zeke. But we gotta play. I think you're like right around where my elo is too. You said you're like high silver, low gold. That's where I sit. So like we could totally play some. Alright, let's find box arts. Excuse me, ma'am. You see what I deal with? I just started streaming. You wanna get out? Come on, let's go. Ooh. One sec, I gotta let Snowy out. I'll let Snowy out, okay? Okay. We're back. Woo! I was gonna make a Terra type tier list since Terra is now done with Omni BS. I could upload one if you want. Yeah, for sure. What do you mean Omni BS? Like, as in like Terra all stuff? Like, you know, free Terra? Because I actually feel like I play more of that. To be honest. Like, I feel like I play more Terra all stuff. On Showdown, at least. My posts have been doing that too. She's been getting my other animals. Snowy's just, Snowy is Snowy, and she's gonna do her thing. I play whatever, but I'm good at Moira and Mercy. There you go. I mostly play support, too. I think right now I'm high gold on tank, but I know I'm gonna drop, so I haven't finished the card, because it's so demoralizing. I'm gold 5 on support, last I checked. I peaked mid-plat, I think, but that's not, you know, my average skill length. And then my mechanical skill just is not there, so I think I'm high silver on my DPS. Yeah, no, Marcus, I think a majority of Showdown places, it is Terra Preview, free Terra. Or on one Mon, like on a Terra Captain, yeah. I'd say a good majority of leagues, tours, DPL, Clash, Trick House, like all of these bigger, like more well-known leagues. I think, now this is my hot take, we'll start with a hot take before we even start tier listing. But, I think the most balanced version of Terra is Terra Preview. I don't care if it's high tiers or low tiers. I think the issue with Terra comes in the fact of having to play around multiple typings. I feel very confident that I can build in the builder and account for 5, 6, 7 different optimal typings, but I cannot play around those 5, 6, 7 optimal typings because my switching to Terra Flying Torn versus Terra Electric Torn versus Terra Fire Torn is going to be completely different. And if all 3 of those are good, then it's tough. Used to play Overwatch years ago, but the crew I used to run and stopped playing. I haven't picked it up since like pre-COVID. Oh dang. Yeah, Terra Preview is mostly how I see it. I'm nice at Bastion too, and I much prefer support. I can tank, but I need my hand out. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very big on free Terra Preview. I think it is the wave when it comes to draft. You know? So, I think it's pretty cool. Okay, with that being said though, let's go ahead and find something. We said box arts, right? We can do Mega Pokemon afterwards. Let's find Legendary Myth. Let's just do Legends, right? We'll do Legends. Now, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do this as pertaining to Draft League? Or do we want to do this as pertaining to just like the Pokemon in general? How cool and epic they are. You know, are we doing design? Or are we doing competitively? You know? It's tough because a lot of these are broken, but I do have Uber's Draft experience though, so it's not like I've never played Uber's Draft. So I don't think it'd be too hard. I've been doing Terra Preview in your Showdown League, and it's honestly been going well. I think it's probably the most balanced, yeah. And that's kind of want to test it. I know the BBR tournament is going to be free Terra Preview. So I guess you guys will, you know, see a little bit more then. I don't think we need 17 categories. We can do S, A, B, D, A, B, C, D. I don't think there's any F-tier legends, right? So, yeah, I think Cosmog is S-tier both ways. True. Free teleports, to be completely honest. The freest of teleports. Ready for teleport to be an exclusive move to the Curlia line, or the fucking Ralts line, and the Cosmog line? How's it going, Iris? Uber's Draft is fun. I got Kieran White, Mega Alakazam combo with special offense was unprecedented. Yeah, I love me some Uber's Draft. Love me some Uber's Draft. It is so much fun. It looks like these are all in alphabetical too. Make sure my dimensions are good. They're not. Let's fix it. Okay. I think we're good. Terra bothers me as a concept because I'm such a hidden power enjoyer. I hate that HP always gets banned, but Terra is okay. I'm not a hidden power enjoyer. Okay, I stand corrected. The most balanced version of Terra is not fucking allowing it because it sucks. Alright, stream's over, guys. That's it. I don't know. I don't like Terra very much. I also don't like Gen 9 drafts as much. When it comes to, like, the metagame itself, I genuinely don't enjoy it very much. I don't. I hate how offense heavy it is. I hate how lopsided the dex feels. I don't like Terra. I don't think it's fun. I don't know. I want to make an Ubers League next spring. Ubers tier list comes great here. Alright, let's do it. We're gonna do an Ubers tier list. We're gonna do this based on draft. There's gonna be all legends and mythicals in general. So some of them will be from the perspective of Uber's draft, and some of them will be in the perspective of draft in general. I'm gonna make one more tier, and it's going to be aggro above, and it's going to be banned in Uber's draft. There are certain Pokemon that are never allowed in Uber's draft, and there's a damn reason they are never allowed in Uber's draft, and we are going to account them as such because there's not really a reason to, you know, do it. So, yeah. I don't fuck with Terra like that either. Yeah, me neither. I just don't like Terra. I don't like it. I don't like Gen 9 either. Earlier, actually, I did a little mini tier list in John's league that I'm doing this upcoming season, GBU. I did, I ranked, like, the different drafts, you know, metagames and things like that, and what I thought of them. And I think that, what do you call it? I think that my list goes 8, 7, 6, 9. I'm also not a big Gen 6 guy. I hate how hazard pressing the metagame is, but really that's my only gripe with it. I love 8 and 7. It's pretty close. I think 8 is the most balanced, so I like Gen 8 draft the most. But yeah, Nat Dex, Paldea Dex, that might be the move. It honestly might be the move. Honestly might be the move. I don't know. I do want to play another Nat Dex soon. I haven't played a Nat Dex league in like 6 months. So maybe I'll play in a Nat Dex league when my other leagues end. Bring back HP to draft? No, that's okay. I don't like Empower. I also don't like Empower. I don't like when my Volcarona can use a ground type move to hit U-Tran. Now, I don't like the fact that it can become a ground type to hit U-Tran just as well, but, you know, same difference. Alright, I'm hoping SD starts to look like Swish with bulk returning. I don't think it ever will unless we have move pools return. Unless we have Scald and Knock and Haze and Roost, and all of these moves come back. On top of that, we have the Recovery Nerf. I just don't see it ever not being an offense-heavy metagame. Just the Wi-Fi timer, 20 minutes rushing. Well, you did have the option of doing land timer, which I understand wasn't super doable for a lot of people that wanted to play Wi-Fi, but it was an option. I do understand, though, that it's not easy for everybody to do it. And honestly, it's not worth playing Gen 8 Wi-Fi if you weren't a content creator. Whereas Gen 9, you can do it viably and not be a content creator, which I think is amazing, that it's, you know, able to be thinking. I mean, that's the resurgence of Draft League isn't because Gen 9 and Terra is fun. It's because people can physically play the games now, you know? Like, people are allowed to play the video game. So, Scald's gonna be moving on. I'm just waiting for the confirmation that Scald is back. I want my bulky waters to be good and not suck. I want Slowbro to be draftable again. Please, anything. That's all I want. I'm still not convinced that Scald will come back. I'm really holding my breath. Okay. That being said, let's start our tier list because we've been waiting long enough, right? I've helped you guys waiting, but I appreciate the interaction. You guys having fun talking with me. I do appreciate it. Oh my god, I got a Discord ping. It always happens. It always happens. He's got pinging goons. Okay. Oh, Ant's playing a game. Do we want to watch Ant's low tier game? Make waters great again. So freaking true. Geozer and D tier. Ooh, crazy. Do we want to watch low tier? No, we're just gonna do the Uber tier list. We'll watch Ant's game later. I'll watch Ant's game later. Okay. Oh, hi, Ant. What's up, buddy? My game? Oh, man. Okay, Ant's here. We have to watch his game. Then we're gonna go. I'm sorry. I know the stream's chaotic so far. It's been a very chaotic stream, but I feel like that's, it's very on brand. Look, and we can see Terra Preview. Alright, Ant, get out of stream, because I'm gonna talk about it, and I don't want to get yelled at for ghosting. Get the fuck out of stream. Okay. Bulky Water's still good, just no longer essential and oppressive defensively. My problem is they jacked up the offense too much. I think, my opinion, right, is that Scald is a necessary evil. I think that moves like Scald, I think all of this fat is a necessary evil in order to deal with a lot of the scary offense. I think boots are a necessary evil in the game, because hazards are broken. So, I don't know. That's the way I see it. I think that Scald needs to be in the game because it needs to be something to punish you for clicking, switching into your physical attacker on a water type, or forcing you into a Covert Cloak. There's literally an anti-Scald item now. I'm forever who has a Staraptor. No, that's not Ant. We're rooting for Ant, and if you're not rooting for Ant, you owe me $500. Okay, I didn't know Staraptor was allowed in low tier. Let's start off from the beginning. I do want to see the Terra typings. So Terra Fire Frostmoth, which is really scary. And then on Ant side, Terra Fire Gardevoir, which makes sense in the Bronzong. Yeah, that's fair. So we see a Flamethrower and hard into the fucking Sandy Shocks. Takes 800 million. Spadef Decky comes in, or I assume Spadef. Okay, we're gonna knock off, get rid of this Boots from this Raptor, which is awesome. It's also Intim, so it's not super scary. Bravebird comes out. Okay. It's gonna force out this thing. We see a double. Oh, Demon Snowscape. Hard Moltres. Okay. Rocks are going to go up. This is a free-ass Flamethrower, dude. Oh my goodness, he is broken. Oh, just kidding. We got Rock Blasted too? Let's go. That's massive, actually. That's actually genuinely massive, because you can roost up on things like Serena so easily. You can roost up on things like Serena so easily. This is another free Decidueye, right? And your Decidueye is probably not defog, so you can defog away these rocks forever. Right? Yeah, good Volt. That's good Volt. Shocks in low tier is egregious. Yeah, I'm on super broken in low tier. I played in a tour recently with low tier Terra Shocks. It was like a testing for Clash tiers, and it was unbelievably disgusting. It was Mamoswine with spikes and 101 speed, because you just run Terra Ice every week. Power Rock did more, so true. Okay, so we see a Poison Jab just immediately knock out that thing. We're gonna see a knockoff, getting rid of this thing's Shell Bell? Ant, what are you doing? Where is Shell Bell? Oh no, Ant. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that thing's Prankster Encore. Parting Shot. Get up a spike here, yeah? Or you just Volt, try attack, maybe get a burn? Unfort. I'm gonna go on to Moltres. Let's see, any burn skis? No burn skis, unfortunately. This is tough. I think the combination of Shocks plus Serena just beats Ant. Oh, we actually see Hard Staraptor, which is interesting. Okay. We know this thing isn't Scarf. Double Edge does not kill, thankfully. Is it going to be Quick Attack as its last slot? Aw, man. I think you need to try attack there. I think try attack might be your play there. That was a tough one. Could be Pat Serena. No, it totally could be. You guys want to see my low tier game? Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Replays. This is my most recent low tier game from this tour. So he's gonna Volt. Yeah, it looks like Ant got cooked. This is a tough one. Yeah, let's watch mine. Come on, load. Yeah, Graph was a big problemo. Big problemo. Where's my game? Come on. Let me see it. Why is the site so slow? There's your Poison Jab. We do get the webs up, which is cool. And no, what do you call it either? That's good. See a Pounce. Drop the attack. Okay. Guard is gonna come out. It's gonna be able to Terra Fire here. Actually, it doesn't even really need to Terra Fire, to be completely honest. Yeah, we're just gonna see a Psyshock. Knock it out. It punishes the Poison Jab play too. I think maybe Parting Shot was the play. Honestly, this thing could go fucking demon right now. We're gonna see Serena come out, but like, if you Terra Fire, do you not kill this? Hold on. Hold on, Ant's going with gas right now. Oh no, he loses to this. This is so sad. Yeah, no, he loses to this. This is so sad, yeah. That's unfortunate. I was gonna say, maybe he could cook with some gas. That's a close one. There it is. Okay. Watch mine. Really quick, we'll watch mine. And then we'll be done. And we'll actually do tier lists on the tier list stream. Okay, ready? I'm this guy right here. I have a Pokemon that is ridiculously broken, right? I have a Pokemon that is ridiculously broken in this format, and I bet you couldn't tell me what it is. Go ahead, tell me what Pokemon is broken on my team. If you guessed 3, 2, 1, Terra Reverum, you would be correct. This Pokemon is a Pokemon we actually just recently banned in Clash after testing because Shift Gear plus his Dual Stabs filter and the coverage of any move in low tier is very, very difficult to deal with. Not a lot of things can deal with it. So we're Terra Reverum, we're actually Terra Water here, and we're sub Shift Gear for things like Aloe, and things like Moltres too, if it wants to flamethrower us. So, we leave Masprit. I think I was like Rocks. We'll just go Hyper Fast. I think I Ice Beam there though, because it covered Brute Bonnet Switch in. This is like max for Def, and I decided to get my Rocks because they're very, very important. And I don't really want to switch hard to Rillaboom on a crunch, but, you know, we get to put to sleep, so... Oh well, we're going to pivot out into our Colossal on this Moltres. I didn't call the Moltres double. It was more so that this is Spadef Colossal, took on any Haunter, didn't get Will-O-Wisp, and could get up Spikes afterwards. So, it wasn't to call the Haunter, trust me. I do get up Spikes here, like I said. Gonna go Rillaboom on an Earth Power. I'm like max Spadef protective pads to knock off the Moltres and not get burned, but as well as like super check the Sandy Shocks. Well, it was all over. Did you get the shock switch into the tri-attack play? No. Like when you, when he went hard shocks as you volted? Yeah, we got that play. We got that play. You said GG, so I thought it was over, and I want to leave it up. My bad. We just U-turn, get on my Rockies again. Don't worry, the game isn't super interesting, because look, it ends right here. You want hard Aloe on this. And then I click sub, and I won. Because Terra is broken and a fun mechanic. Beep. And then I win. Demon. Okay. Yeah, no, I saw. I think Try Attack was your play on that turn. Just because it also covered, like, you know, Serena potentially. Like, it just felt like a safe play into what was happening there. I don't know. I could have been tripping. Oh, I don't understand the play is. I guess. I mean, Try Attack seemed like it netted you a lot and was a very safe click. I think he was just trying to sack off the shocks / get you be over aggressive. Was it throw? What was it throw for? Okay, well, regardless, let's start tier listing. We're gonna start tier listing. Okay, we'll start off with Arceus. Right? Banned. Typically, I have seen a couple Ubers leagues, like, allow Arceus in, like, certain Arceus typings. I played in a league where I had an Arceus. Everybody got an Arceus form. I remember. This is an early Gen 8. This is a team I took over that also allowed Kyogre, and I had Kyogre too. They allowed, like, basically everything. And everybody got a, what do you call it? Everybody got, like, a Terramon. Or an Arceusmon. And I forget what typing I had. I think it was, like, No, I had Arceus Ground, which was really incredible. A terrifying Pokemon, for sure. Everybody got it. Super, super broken. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in banned. I don't think it really should be allowed. I've seen some leagues allow, like, Arceus Grass and Bug, but even then, like, it's really fucking good. Maybe Arceus Bug is the one you can allow. Who knows? Next up, we have Articuno. I hate to do it. I know this is a big Razor Claw mon. Razor Claw loves this Pokemon. I think it's super ass. It's just not very strong. It's decently Spadef bulky, but having that Ice Flying typing is really bad defensively. And on top of that, you don't have the coverage you need offensively to be a very threatening Ice type. Ice Flying is great if you have some kind of combination of ground and fire with you. You don't on this Pokemon. So it's going to go in D tier. I just banned that shit show. I had Arceus Electric once. It was not as versatile, but still crazy good. Yeah, I feel like you just run Bolt Beam every week, right? I feel like you run Bolt Beam every week. You are the Ubers guy, Ant. Ant is a demon in the Ubers tier. Next up is Azelf. Now again, I'm not ranking these all based on Uber's Draft League unless they are an Uber Pokemon that is only allowed in Uber's Draft League. Otherwise, I'm just going to rank them on draft, right? Right? Ubers is my favorite. I'm just bad. I have not had a good Ubers performance in a while. Since I, like, won BB... No, I made semifinals the last BBL Wi-Fi season. And then I won the season before, but I haven't had a great run since. Terra Articuno is a decent pivot, but you're also tearing the Articuno. Yeah, and that's why I kind of like... In my opinion, every Pokemon's better with Terra, right? Like, they all get better with Terra. But are you going to Terra all of them? If they're bad without Terra, I'm probably not going to waste my Terra on them unless I'm specifically required to, right? Every Pokemon is going to get better when you can change their typing at will and give them any coverage move. I don't think Articuno's decent regular drafts. That's my thing. If you think so, then yes. I don't think so. I think Articuno sucks. I'm really not a big fan of it. I would never draft Articuno. Sometimes CM recover Stealth Rock, but mostly Bolt Beam. Yeah, that makes sense. How's Life Phone? Just going good, man. I worked this morning. The house is pretty quiet. My dad's out for the day for a little while. So, yeah, that's it. It has Heal Bell and Nadex. It does, which is valuable, but a lot of things have Heal Bell and Nadex. The opposite of Paldea. And I'm definitely not drafting Articuno in a Cleric role. I'm probably drafting as like a Spidef pivot, and though I guess it can run Heal Bell. And I think on like certain like balanced and stall builds, you can draft a low tier Articuno and it can do well in some matchups, but I personally, I'm never drafting it, you know? I don't know. Me personally, it's just not for me. Okay, Azelf, I'm gonna put Azelf in B tier. I'm actually a big Azelf believer, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever used this thing, but it is so much more than it is in singles, where you typically see it as either as like a Scarfer or as like that Suicide Lead Taunt Boom Rock set. But honestly, in a draft setting, this thing is incredibly versatile because it can do those things, right? It's a great choice Scarfer, and it's a great, hazard lead, taunting Mon, you turning around, being a nuisance. But in all honesty, in draft, it's so much more than that. It can be Life Orb, it can be Specs, you can be Nasty Plot sets. I've run really bulky Azels with Nasty Plot before. I think it's really solid there. I've run Endure Salic Berry even to get a speed boost if I need it. You can be Physical, Special, Mixed. Really good Pokemon. I believe it gets a really fast Encore too. I'm pretty sure. Fucking love Azelf. Yeah, no, it's so good. Really spit off bulky. Yeah, I'm not big. This is Feet Guy, the Azelf, but Mystical Power is really annoying. It is, but I think more so on Uxie Mesprit, right? Because they lack the immediate power that Azelf has, where they're kind of cool with sitting on the field for a while, clicking Mystical Power that's weaker, but it gives them the boost, they get stronger. If I'm using Azelf, I'm clicking fucking Life Orb Psychic, or I'm clicking Psy Shock because I need to hit the Spit F wall or something similar. I'm probably not running Mystical Power and Azelf because of the mischance, because it's a little bit slower of a playstyle, but I think definitely fair on Uxie. Next up we have Celebi. I feel like the top of this tier list is going to be really strong. I'm going to put Celebi at the bottom of B tier right now. It might move down to C tier, so keep that in mind. I like this Pokemon a lot more than anybody else does. Or most people do, just because it is really good defensively into a lot of Pokemon. Now, obviously, the 4 times bug weakness in Draft League, where Draft League player click U-turn. Yes, it sucks. But I really do think that this thing with the grass typing is a phenomenal ground resist. It's a great rocker. It grabs great momentum with U-turn. It has Healing Wish. It can be physical or special. Mostly going to be special, but it can Calm Mind or Nasty Plot. Reliable recovery. In past generations, it was a Cleric. I don't know if it will be if it comes back, but in past generations, it was a Cleric. And I think if this thing comes into Scarlet and Violet with Terra, it could be a really solid Pokemon. Celebi is dog shit without Terra, and then there's Yarn. I don't know. I really like Celebi. I think people shit on it because of that typing, and because of the fact that it is 4 times weak to bug, or whatever it might be. I don't think that's as big of a deal. Landorus is 4 times weak to ice. This is a really common offensive typing in the format, but nobody shits on Landorus, Same thing with Mence, Roaring Moon is, I guess that's Roaring Mid, so I guess we shouldn't say that. There's a lot of 4 times weak Pokemon that run into very common coverage, and Celebi is one of the Pokemon that can actually live those hits, if it's bulky enough. 100 bulk is crazy. Yeah, it is a great status as over 2 meta, you're 100% right. I don't know, I'm a big Celebi fan. I'm going to keep it in B tier now as a statement. Next up is Cobalion. I'm going to put it in C tier. Cobalion is a Pokemon, it does its job, right? But it doesn't do the jobs you want it to. It sets up rocks, it's a good physically defensive pivot, it will switch around, and every once in a while you can pull out that Rock Polish or Sword Stance sweep. Even random Calm Mind and things like that. Spreads Thunder Wave. But what you want out of Steel type a lot of the time, I feel like, is going to be that Fairy Pivot and Killer. One, you don't pivot into Fairies because you don't resist Fairy, and you have a really bad Spidef stat. So I don't know if you're a great Fairy Pivot. And on the second hand, you have base 90 attack and special attack. There's a lot of fairies you just don't even 2-hit KO, right? there's really a lot of fairies you don't 2-hit KO unless you're attack invested, and that's not good from your steel type in my opinion. So it does some of the things you really want from a steel type, and it does them extremely well. Pivot, rocks, it can grab momentum as a steel, which is very, very valuable, has a lot of high base power moves, and can even set up and win. But offensively, it's very lackluster, and defensively on the Spadef side, very, very lackluster. So, I don't know. I'm going to put Cobalion in the C tier. I know some people would put it way higher, some people would put it way lower. I'm going to move these guys down here because they suck. I'm not really going to explain it. Oh, man. We already got to it. Good old Cresselia, baby. Okay. So. Listen, guys. If this was like a year ago, I'm putting this shit in D tier. Because I really don't like Cress. I am going to put it in C tier now. Kind of the Articuno argument, but a little bit less so because I think it's a little bit more worthwhile. Because of the fact that this thing is much better with Terra. I think Terra Poison and Terra Fairy are both incredible typings on this thing, and it can be very, very obnoxious for a lot of teams to potentially deal with. I don't like how passive Cress is. I really don't like how passive Cress is. It is such taunt fodder. A strong offensive breaker can come in and kind of overwhelm it. The fact that it only has 8 Moonlight PPs. Now, Lunar Dance or Blessing, whatever the one that is that, like, restores a dead Pokemon or a really tiny Pokemon back is big. And it's a great tool, but there's a lot of Pokemon with healing, which does the same shit, you know? So, like, I don't know how big of a deal that is, to be honest. And then Fran's right, it was nerfed like crazy as gen. Not only did obviously the recovery nerf, which doesn't really apply to Crest because it only had 8 Moonlights anyways, but it lost Toxic, and then its stats got nerfed, and I think that was preemptively for VGC. Because they kind of like saw like the potential of Terra Crest being obnoxious as well as it being a VGC staple. But I just don't like the passivity of it. It does have great support moves, like you're saying, Meta. I just don't like how big of taunt bait it is and how relegated it is to that role. Especially in a generation where offense is supreme. Like, offense is supreme. Really good. So, I don't know. That's just me. Next up is Darkrai. Darkrai is an interesting spot because I've actually made a video on this if you guys haven't checked it out. On whether or not Darkrai should be allowed in draft, if it would be allowed in Paldea. And I came to the conclusion, personally, that I don't think Darkrai is too broken to be allowed in draft, and if it comes back in the DLCs, it should be allowed in the standard pool of mobs, not in just Uber's leagues. There's a ton of leagues in Gen 7 and 8 that were kind of testing and toying with the idea of Darkrai. Some people thought it was okay, some people thought it wasn't. They banned Nasty Plot on it, they banned Setup on it. Whatever it might be. But I think, in this current generation, it's not the best Pokemon in the format, even. Darkrai or Chi-Yu, what are we saying? I think Darkrai's better than Chi-Yu, personally, but also Chi-Yu hater, and we'll get to that later. But I think there are Pokemon that are objectively better than Darkrai. My immediate comparison is this little cat guy down here that I just used in BBR, Mr. Chienpao. There's an argument to be made to prefer Chienpao over Darkrai. There's an argument. Now, would it be a correct argument? I don't know, maybe, but I think they're a better Pokemon. I'm going to put Darkrai in A tier for now, because it's okay in Uber's draft. And then in Standard, it's obviously incredible. But it's a matter of if it would be allowed. I think it should be, though, personally. Hypnosis, Blunder Policy, or Spore users with sub-Darkrai can be quite annoying. I'm the biggest GU fanboy. Oh, no. You're not going to like when we get later in the video. To the GU portion, right down here. Okay. So next up, we have the Deoxys forms. We're going to go ahead and rank the Uber forms first. I'm going to put Deoxys Attack in A, and I'm going to put Deoxys Normal in C. They both function very similarly. They're both phenomenal offensively and have no bulk. My thought process is Deoxys Attack is just what Deoxys Normal wants to be. It is better in every facet of the word, because you don't gain enough bulk back from being regular Deoxys to actually have it make a difference between the Pokemon. You're just slower and weaker, basically, is what it ends up coming down to. Now, the next two Deoxys forms are actually typically allowed in Draft League, in Standard Draft. First up, we have Deoxys Defense, and a lot of people don't like Deo Defense. I love this thing, especially in Natdex. I actually am doing a Natdex draft right now. I did lie. I lie. But I just think, I don't know. Deoxys is a Pokemon that gets a lot of shit for being passive, but I think it gets too much shit for being passive, if that makes any sense. Let me pull up a Team Builder. I'm not in any Wi-Fi league, so I actually don't have to worry about hiding sets. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. I even have VGC teams and then the low tier one you saw. So let's look. We're gonna go down to National Dex. Deoxys Defense, who's RUBL. Obviously, the offenses are abysmal. 70-70. But, on top of that insane bulk, the HP is made up for by 160-160, is that speed stat of 90, guys. I think the speed stat is absolutely imperative when it comes to discussing Deoxys Defense. A lot of these more passive Pokemon, you can even look at Cresselia, 85, that makes a big difference. 85 isn't as crowded. There's a lot of things 85 and slower. There's not as many things 90 and faster. And especially with this thing's bulk, the recovery options, teleport, spikes, knockoff, toxic, thunder wave. I love this thing in past gens. It is worse this gen because recover only has 8 PP. And that objectively makes it worse. But I actually do like Deoxys Defense a ton. It's very, very good. And it's very, like, typical, like, stall breaking methods, in my opinion. So, I like Dio. I'm going to put it in B tier. DOS, I'm going to put an S tier for S. Beyond that, it's a very good Pokemon, right? The speed kills in draft. Speed is what makes a Pokemon. And Deoxys Speed has plenty of it. I think this thing with Terra would be ungodly broken. But even without Terra, it's really good. It's a little bit, not super strong on that special attack and attack side, but 95 is usable, especially when you can go no speed, go max special attack, modest, max attack, adamant, and just rip through things. You have great coverage, you can nasty plant, calm mind, you have recovery, you can go very bulky because of the fact that you have, 180 speed, and then 50, 90, 90 doesn't seem as frail anymore. You also have all of the other tools that Deoxys Defense has when it comes to like stall breaking and being bulky and annoying. I don't know, I think this thing's really incredible. I love Dio Speed. One of my favorite Pokemon to use. Can struggle a bit with Formula Syndrome, low HP, can get Dio form. Yeah. No, that's fair. I think that's fair. But yeah, I definitely am I'm definitely a big Dio speed fan in Standard. I think Snowy wants to come back in my room. I'm gonna see if that's what she wants or if she's just being annoying. One sec. What's up? Come on. Let's go. You wanna come in here? Ugh. Chat. Say hi to Snowy. Snowy, say hi to chat. Say hello, chat. Tell him, say like and subscribe, become a channel member, and buy the merch. Tell him. Thank you. He buys me treats with the money. I think she wants this thing, is why she came back in. Okay. Lay down. I'm doing stuff. I haven't seen Dio Speed do anything but lead. I think it's a matter of, opening your mind with it when, and trying new things with it. It's an incredible Pokemon. Very, very versatile. Okay, Dialga in Uber's Draft. I'm going to go ahead and put Dialga in A tier. I haven't used it myself personally. Actually, I did my first ever Uber's League, but I barely count that. That was, fucking 6 years ago? So one of my first leagues from a really long, long time ago. Very, very good Pokemon. It guaranteed pretty much trade 1-for-1. What in the world is outgoing Dialga and Uber's Draft? Why did you do this? You asked to come in here. You told me. You said, I want to come back in. Shithead dog. But it's pretty much a guaranteed trade 1-for-1, whether it be with an Assault Vest, whether it be with a Resist Berry, or even just choice specs and Scarf variants. And then setup variants are also absolutely incredible when it comes to Dialga. It's a really, really solid and strong Pokemon in that regards. Again, 150 special attack with 100, 120, 100 bulk, and 90 speed. This thing doesn't have a bad stat. You can do so much with it. It might not be the world ender that a lot of Uber's Draft Pokemon are, but it is just incredibly reliable at what it does, and it's always going to do it well. So, yeah, I think A tier is fine. Can Dialga do sub bulk up? It sure can. Hell yeah. Sub bulk up, and then you can go Body Press Ironhead or Body Press Dragonclaw, one of the two. Probably Body Press Ironhead, and it just massacres, traditional Spadef checks. Really, really solid at it. Yes, Palkia can't do it too. Give these boys DD, they'll be demons. Wait, DD Dialga would be a fucking monster. Oh my gosh. Trick Room is also funny. Yeah, I can run Trick Room viably too. Weakness Policy is also a very viable option on Dialga. A very viable option. Okay, next up, we got Diancie. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big Diancie stan. It's going to go in S tier for me. When it comes to Gen 7 in particular, but Gen 8 Natdex leagues too, probably Gen 9 Natdex leagues, I love using this thing. incredibly strong. You can use that pre-mega bulk spread to set up. But realistically, you're here to come in, click Moonblast, Earth Power, Diamond Storm / Power Gem, and Mystical Fire, and do some damage. It's very annoying to position, but once you whittle things down a little bit, it is a walking KO into a KO machine. You just need to position in that zone. If you can do so, you're going to be in a good spot. You're going to be in a really good spot. Mega Dia Goat, I agree. I agree. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Cows was asking me a question. Top 3 in the format. It's insane Uber still. Yeah, I love Mega Dia. It's such a good Pokemon. Next up, we have regular DNC, which is also an incredible Pokemon, especially in Paldea right now, right? From the perspective of Paldea right now, I think it is a very slept on and one of the best fairies in the format. It gets rocks and spikes. It can baton pass if your league allows you to drive pass. Great, from both the physically defensive and especially defensive side. It's not passive, has incredible coverage. It can also Trick Room and set that up for its teammates, or even set it up for itself and be like, Trick Room, weakness policy shenanigans. And yeah, really, really cool. The +2 defense boost makes it nasty to revenge, pure evil. No, I agree 100%. I remember, especially in Uber's League, there's multiple times where you can just run Diamond Storm, and get the defense boost and just eat up an Adamant, Mega Scissor, or Bullet Punch. Like, it's absolutely nothing. So, yeah, really cool Pokemon. I actually like it a lot. Okay, next up we have Entei. I know Ant is a big Entei stan. I'm going to go ahead and put it in C tier. I used to put it in D tier. I was never a big Entei guy, but actually, again, in Uber's draft, the season I won BBL, I had Entei on the team, and I gave it the OG Albino try. If you don't know what that means, is I'll usually violently shit on a Pokemon until I try it, and I'll decide from there whether it's worth using or not worth using. And I actually got some good use out of Entei. Still think it's very mediocre. Still think it's by far the worst of the 3 dogs, but it was much better than I initially thought and gave it credit for. So I think it's definitely fair to put it in C tier. Personally, I know, that's just me. Button. It is a button sometimes. And there are those Entei matchups where you're like, dude, my opponent just does not fucking deal with Sacred Fire at all. But then there are matchups where you're like, wow, Entei doesn't do fucking anything here if I try and bring this idiot. At all. So, yeah. Next up, we have Genesect. I'm gonna put Genesect in A tier in Uber's draft perspective. I always wanted to try this thing. I haven't gotten to. Maybe if I tried it, I would move it up to S tier. But this thing is really, really strong. Really, really strong. Entei is almost purely reserved for Sun teams, in my opinion. Yveltal should do about to do some damage to chat's mental. Yveltal is broken, but we'll get there. M1 is ungodly broken in Uber's draft and should be banned. Yo, how's it going, Kaz? Welcome to stream. Welcome to stream. But yeah, where are we at? Genesect. Physically offensive, specially offensive, Scarf, Specs, Band, Life Orb, Extra Ball. I've even seen Assault Vest Genesect do well. Shift Gear sets, Wincon, Extreme Speed. This thing is incredibly versatile offensively and can be very difficult for teams to switch it to. Oh. It also gives you defensive scouting opportunities with download, and I think that's a really underrated part of download because, yeah, it's great to get an attack and special attack boost. But it's also good to know if you're playing a Spadef Milotic or a physically defensive Milotic, right? So I think that's a really, really cool aspect of Genesect. It's a Pokemon I really want to try, personally. I haven't ever gotten the chance to in Uber's draft, and I've always tried to, but it's just never worked out. Next up, we have Giratina. I'm going to go ahead and put the Giratina forms in... Oh, there's a Brahmagradon. You can just go up here. We already know where you're going to go. I'm going to put them in... Yeah, I'm putting them in B tier. They're solid. I think they're kind of like Dialga, right? In the sense that, like, I don't know. Maybe I prefer Dialga because of the fact that it can rock. And it can always hold an item while still being incredibly threatening offensively. Whereas you kind of have to pick one between the Giratina forms. Ghost Dragon is an incredible typing. There's not much to deal with that, i.e. Dragapult. However, I think that I prefer Dialga a little bit more because of its natural coverage, just being that much greater and being a rocker. Giratina is still incredible, though. Both sides are both very bulky. Both sides are very strong, potentially, too. Maybe if Giratina O could hold an item while it played, then I would give it the edge over Dialga, personally. But, yeah. Now that I know you did not win, hold on, one sec. It's super good as a breaker because burns go crazy. Jenny was the most fun I've ever used. Too bad you can usually never get them. I know. I feel like you have to draft Genesect super early or you end up getting yoinked and taken away from you. Now I know that you did not win BR WPF. However, getting to play off both is great enough. Yeah, it was definitely frustrating. Not winning again. I always go into a league with the intention that I'm going to win, and not winning sucks. But that shit happens. You're just not going to win every league, unfortunately. That's life, I don't know. We'll see. I'm the offensive one more personally. Let's go. Kaz became a member. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting the channel. You were saying, great enough. I think you were saying that because he told me if I won either of the leagues, he would become a member, Ant. When he makes it worth it, let's go. No, before the season, he was telling me if I won either leagues, he'd become a member. Same thing for, I think he also said that if I beat AIM, and I lost AIM twice, which was tough too, when AIM was in BBR. But yeah, the other one is tough. Yeah, it's tough because not being able to hold an item is a real crux. Next up, we have Groudon. Groudon is an S tier Pokemon in Uber's Draft. It's incredible. I think this Pokemon is so slept on. I think it's incredibly slept on. Whether it be offensively, defensively. It got Wisp and Spikes this last generation. What the fuck, Groudon? Makes it that much better. I love AV Groudon. It's one of my favorites. But even like Choice Band sets, Rock Polish sets, Swords Dance sets, mixed physical special. It's absolutely incredible. And the pure ground typing is so good defensively and offensively. It's so ridiculous. I'm a 1 PPL though. That is the GOAT. Hold on one sec. And I'm gonna DM you real quick. It's whatever. Okay. Alright. So yeah, I think Groudon is incredible defensively and offensively. Really good Pokemon. Next up, we have Heatran. Heatran's another S tier guy. Win your next upload league, and I'll become Salamence tier for 3 months. Oh baby, wait till you hear my pick in my next upload league. It's like fucking 14th. it's like really bad. Yeah, Ant, tomorrow. I did it. Don't worry. I did it. But yeah. No, so, sorry. I'm getting distracted because I'm looking at, like, side messages and stuff like that. We're playing in GBU, and I have, like, 14th pick. But I'm pretty confident I can win that league, so we'll see how it ends up going. I'm always confident I can win a league, though. Next up is Heatran, the absolute GOAT of draft. I will draft Heatran as many times as humanly possible. If it is available, I am drafting it. I fucking love that thing. Whether it be offensively, defensive. I mean, I keep saying the same things. It's so good at so many things. It is the perfect glue piece. I love it. It spreads status. It's a tool. It has such a good defensive typing. It gives you an immunity as well as a status spreader, and just its ability. Oh my goodness. Incredible Pokemon. I love Heatran. Okay. Next up is Ho-Oh. I think Ho-Oh might unironically... I'm going to put an A tier for now. I loved Ho-Oh when I used an Uber's Draft. It was a season before I won BBL. And that season, I think I also made it to semifinals. And I drafted like this really fat Ho-Oh balance team. And I think in Gen 9, it wouldn't have worked as well. Because the meta is so offense heavy, right? It's so offense heavy. Whereas in the past, I had, my 16 Roost, and I could Toxic with it, and I could do a bunch of different things with it. It was also a Cleric, and obviously has the best ability in the game. I love Ho-Oh. And Sacred Fire is a great move, like we said before, so really good one. And these are pretty bad Gen 7 and Gen 9? I don't think so. Like, it obviously lost a few things, right? It lost the access to Eruption and Toxic, right? Pretty tough. But it's so good defensively. There's not a lot of good steel types in the format. It spreads crazy status and passive damage, whether it be with Lava Plume, Flame Body, or Magma Storm. And it's a great rocker, immunity, and a status spreader. I love Heatran. I love Heatran. I think it is an incredible Pokemon. I really do think that it is a top 1 steal in the format. I genuinely think that. Maybe I'm tripping on another one, but I actually think that Heatran is the best, both like bang for your buck steel type, offensively and defensively, that you can get. I will ride or die for Heatran until the end of time. Unless they give that boy solely Ember and Iron Head, he's going to be the GOAT. Gypsy King Toho Magirna team is probably my favorite of all-time teams. That season in general is a really, really cool season. That was a massacre of like crazy proportions. Like it was a body bag. Okay, next up we have Hoopa. Hoopa is another firmly B tier Pokemon. I know, it sounds crazy. He has hella attack stat, Owen. He's very strong. He is, but his speed tier is so bad. There's no way of circumventing that outside of a Scarf, and Hoopa has a really tough time locking against a lot of teams. And that defense stat is awful. The 4 times weakness to Bug does not help with that speed tier and defense stat. It really, really does not. With Terra, it becomes a different story, but with every Pokemon they get better. With Terra, I think B tier is fair for Hoopa, personally. At least, in my mind. You know? At least in my mind. Then we have Baby Hoopa, who sucks. He's going in D tier. He's regular Hoopa, just with the ghost typing. Still bad defensively, but even slower and weaker. It's just not a very good Pokemon, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a big Baby Hoopa guy. Maybe I need to try it. I know Emphy used it well in PPL with, like, Terra on it. But again, Terra. It's not really one you want to Terra unless you're doing a low-tier Terra League. And he's a low-tier Pokemon, so he's going in the low tiers of this list. Next up is Jirachi. Speaking of goat steel types, he's going to go in A tier. Right? He's going to go in A tier. Now, in the context of Paldea, if it comes back, if it does not get Scald, Scald is not... I'm looking at Keldeo. In the context of Paldea, if it does not get toxic things and like that back, it's going to be a little bit worse. And it's still an incredible Pokemon. Stringrace is very cheese potential, very bulky, incredible defensive typing, very good coverage offensively too. You can set up on the physical or special side or on the defensive side. It's a great Wish Passer, an incredible Pokemon for sure. Hoopa U is like D for me. I tried Baby Hoopa with no exceptions and did surprising well with Avian Sub. Oh, really? That's interesting. I haven't used it personally, so maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Sorry, one second. Check my blood sugar. Blood sugar's good. Okay. Now Keldeo. We were kind of talking about him before an accident. In the context of Paldea decks, if this thing does not keep Scald, it becomes immeasurably worse. Keldeo's whole bread and butter, I think, is spreading those burns on those common switchins, those grass types, those water types, those dragon types, and chipping them down in a range of moves later on. If it can't do that anymore, especially because it also lost Toxic, it's going to be incredibly passive and bad. I mean, we can say the same thing about Suicune when we get there, but we'll get there when we talk about Suicune. So I think that Keldeo really does depend on if it keeps Scald or not. If it keeps Scald, I think it's still an A-tier Pokemon, even without Toxic, because Subtoxic Keldeo is great. As a Calm Mind Savior, Specs, Scarf, last gen, it was a great choice spawn with access to Flip Turn for momentum. Like, it was a really cool option for it, so... Yeah, Keldeo's always been a draft goat, though. It's always been really solid. Next up, Primal Kyogre and Kyogre are always banned. They're broken. Don't allow them. I'm going to add... Hold on. Add row below. Let's say... alternate forms. Just so I can get these guys out of the way. Okay. So that's just, like, going to be for, like, cosmetic forms and things like that. Next up, we have Kyurem Black and White. I'm going to go ahead and put Kyurem Black in S tier and Kyurem White in A tier, which is weird because one of them is banned in regular draft leagues and one of them was not for a long time. Kyurem Black, when it was allowed, was a certified top 5 Pokemon in Gen 7. And even in leagues that like banned DD on it. And Gen 8, it was incredible. How's it going, Danny? Welcome to stream, bro. Welcome to stream. But Kyurem's always been a tried and true Pokemon. Now, I know the general consensus is that in Gen 6, it's a little bit mediocre. But I still think it's a round 1 certified, really, really solid pick. In Gen 8, it was incredible as Z-moves. Bulky Kyurem backs are also incredible, like Sub-Roost sets, Toxic sets. Just really, really solid, whether it be physically, offensively, specially offensively, and incredibly bulky. And then Gen 9 came around and they gave them a Icicle Spear and Dragon Dance. Now, I think even... And Freeze Dry, which is also incredible. And now it didn't have to waste a slot on Fusion Bolt for bulky waters. I think that even without DD, Kyurem Black is a bannable Pokemon in Gen 8. Personally, with the addition of Boots, meaning where you never had to play around hazards again, the addition of Freeze Dry, and just physical Ice Stab now that it could use, it was unbelievably insane to deal with, and I don't think it should ever be allowed, and that's why it's an S tier. Kyurem White, we expect to be broken, right? It's an Uber Pokemon. It's much stronger immediately in the sense that like of its coverage moves and the moves that it's typically clicking. Now, in the grand scheme of all Ubers though, I don't think it is an S tier Pokemon, just A tier. That's just me though. That's just me. I could be tripping. Okay. Next up, we have Karam. Also going to go in S tier for, like, as you know, from the sense of random or regular draft. I think it's an absolutely incredible Pokemon with access to, like, those Saru sets. Specs is a monster. Scarf is a monster. Dragon Dance was really, really good as well. Really, really good. So I'm definitely a big, big fan of regular Karam. Sorry, I got a ton of things. Okay. Reshi, Demon. I don't know about that. Do you prefer trying to nerf Pokemon to become draft viable, like no DNS Boots or Karen Black, or just completely not using them? I think it's more nuanced than people think. I'm not against complex bans, right? I'm not against saying, okay, this Pokemon can't use this ability, right? Now, what's a good example of that? Of a Pokemon being broken because of ability? I was gonna say, like, Speed Boost Blaziken. That's a perfect example. I was gonna say the trapping abilities, but I don't think those should ever be banned. Speed Boost Blaziken should always be banned, but I'm on, like, Blaziken without it isn't that good. However, when we get to the point of, like, complex banning a ton of things off of a Pokemon to make it viable. Like, so let's say from the case of Kieran Black, right? So we ban Dragon Dance and they're like, still kind of broken. Then we ban Icicle Spear and they're like, kind of broken. We ban Boots and we're basically using Gen 7 Kieran Black and Gen 8. I think at that point, it is better just to ban the Pokemon. I think when you complex ban something to the point where it's not recognizable as the same Pokemon and you had to take away the qualities that made it good, I think that's when it becomes too far. So I think it's really just a case-by-case basis, you know? I think that's what the most important thing is when it comes to, like, complex banning and things like that. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Oh my gosh, this tier list is taking forever. Okay. We're going to start rapid-firing through these, because I want to do multiple tier lists, so we're going to start rapid-firing through these. Landorus, the GOAT, S tier. Lando I? I'm going to say A tier, especially in Paldea. Not having Rock Polish makes it super bad. Makes it super bad. These guys are going to go in S tier. The Megalodis are incredible in Standard Draft if they are allowed. They should never be allowed, but they typically, end up sometimes being allowed. They're also really good in Uber's Draft. They're just great Pokemon in general. Just absolutely great Pokemon in general. Next up is Latios and Latios. We're going to go B and S. I love standard Latios in draft because I love how strong it is offensively. I like clicking fucking buttons with Latios and going to town, but I also love how bulky it can be. Latios can be very, very bulky, a little bit bulkier than Latios, but it doesn't have the same offensive pressure, which is a little bit meh for me. Next up we have Lugia. Lugia is super broken. Multi-scale plus its bulk is just disgusting. Broken mon. Lunala, same thing, Shadow Shield, disgusting Pokemon. When we used this recently as well in the BBL, it did phenomenally. It was a really good Pokemon. Magearna, and even in Uber's Draft, is S tier. Should never be allowed in Standard, but in Uber's Draft, it is absolutely incredible. Manaphy, hot take, Manaphy's gonna go in B tier. I've never been a big Manaphy guy. I think it's a little bit more straightforward to deal with than a lot of other of the Pixies. Now it can be those bulky like Calm Mind rest sets, or even just like U-turn knockoff sets and spread status and be annoying. But really, the bread and butter are gonna come in either bulky Calm Mind or Tail Glow, and if you have the means to beat those, you're fine. If you're preparing correctly, you're fine. We're going to move alternate form here. Marshadow, another Pokemon I had the chance to use in Uber's Draft. Incredible. This thing doesn't have switch. Ghost Fighting is unresisted for a reason. And when you give it, that incredibly high attack and speed stat with Technician on priority moves and things like that, as well as a move that steals stat boost to where you can never click a setup move, yeah, it's going to be really good. Next up, Melmetal. I'm going to go A tier. Really close to S tier for me, personally. Just because I love using it, but I think objectively it belongs where it belongs in A. Just because of the fact that it is a little bit exploitable on the Spinef side and exploitable by the item Rocky Helmet. However, in this gym with Punching Glove Melm is a monster. That thing getting a boost on top of its fucking Iron Fist Double Iron, Iron Fist Double Iron bashes are crazy. Manaphy in the ring with Taillow is really hard to beat defensively. Yeah, that's definitely fair. I think Manaphy, like, offensive Manaphy's are pretty easily revenged, and defensive Manaphy's are pretty easily kind of, like, whittled away with and dealt with in that regards. I feel like some Ubers never do good when you use Lugia, Dialga, and Pheromosa, I feel like are never good in BBL Gen 8. Josh did really good with Dialga. I don't think Kurt did great with Lugia. And then Pheromosa, I think Josh did okay with Pheromosa. I'm pretty sure Josh made playoffs when he had Dialga Pheromosa as his Ubers, actually. That was the season where we won, I think. Yeah, because we called the double. Gloves and fists don't stack, still prefers pads. It doesn't? This is so sad. Are you kidding me? Wait, it doesn't stack, so one of them just doesn't happen then? Really? That's crazy. Meloetta, Solid Spadefmon, I actually gonna put it in C tier. Solid Spadefmon, U-turns around, Scar Specs, you can go with AV as well and be, run with the Quarry tried and true classic of AV Charge Beam, but you can also run Relic Song Pirouette form sets to really catch people off guard. I think it was in Swish Tour, I almost lost to a Meloetta doing that, and that was terrifying. But yeah, definitely cool mon. Okay, that being said, let's go Meltan. I guess Meltan can go in D tier. He's a Meltan. Then we have Mesprit. I'm going to go ahead and put Mesprit in B tier. It's one of my favorite Pixie legendaries, or Lake Garden legendaries, I guess is the way of putting it. Very versatile, can be good offensively, defensively, U-turn, rocks, great Pokemon. Mew, just for his legacy, we're going to put him in S tier. That's the GOAT. These guys are also going to go in S tier because they're all super broken. Honestly, though, I think they should be banned in regular draft. I'll be honest, in Uber's draft. I think they're absolutely disgusting, including regular Mewtwo. Regular Mewtwo is actually better than Mega Mewtwo Y in a lot of instances because of the fact that it can hold an item. Mega Mewtwo X was disgusting the one time I got to use it in a one-off Uber's League. So I'm going to put it down there. Yeah, I don't know, so there's online about our 50-50, but I don't think they stack. Oh, really? That's super interesting. I want Mesprit to have recovered from Legends. You and me both, Meta. You and me both, bro. 100% wish that was the case. Unfortunately, can't really win them all. Hold on. Alright, stuff real quick. Okay, there we go. Bam. Maybe too wise speed makes it better this gen, in my opinion. I guess that's fair. Kind of metagame trends. Moltres is one of my favorite legends to use in general in draft. Absolutely love this thing. Offensively and defensively, it's great. I love spreading Wisp with it too. I think fat, physically or especially defensive Wisp variants are disgusting on Moltres. So I think that's fair. This thing is the bane of everybody's existence. In the context of this being your Uber Pokemon in draft, it's terrible. It's going in D tier. Don't draft it. Just draft regular Lunala, and if it's not available, get a different mon. We're going to put these guys up here because they are banned everywhere, and they should be. Alright? They should be. Then, we're going to look at Necrozma. Necrozma is going to go in S tier, which is... Yeah, I'm putting Necrozma in S tier. It's a low S tier, but I think it's an S tier in Pokemon. This thing is so versatile, so bulky, so strong. Sets up from every, realm of the spectrum. Is great as a rock setter and as a physically or especially defensive wall with Morning Sun. I love Necrozma. It really, really rewards creative building. And I think especially in Generation 8, it really shined a lot. And I'm really interested to see how it would do in a Generation 9 metagame. But I guess, one of these days we'll just have to see. Palkia. I'm objectively going to put him in A tier. I want to put him in S tier because that is the BBL champion with your boy. The absolute GOAT. I think there are better Uber options, though. I just really want to try Palkia. I had Palkia, Coco, Urshifu Single Strike in Gen 8, and it was disgusting. It was very, very obnoxious for teams to deal with. Fion, you're terrible. Raikou, hot take, Raikou C tier. I think it's better than Entei, but I don't think it's very good. I used to be a big Raikou stan, but it ends up having really bad matchups. It's not very threatening offensively. Scald was a nice addition for it, but if it doesn't get that back, it's even worse because it's just walled by grounds. It can never really set up and win properly. It's stuffed by dragons and grasses. It's just not very good. I think the best Raikou variant was Subtoxic, and if it doesn't get Toxic back this gen when it comes back, and I don't think it will, it's just not a great Pokemon. I don't know. Next up, Mega Ray. He banned, but regular Ray, he not banned, and he is really good. We're going to put him in S tier. This Pokemon, again, is so versatile and so unbelievably strong. Regice, probably the worst Reggie in my opinion, and then I think it goes Regirock, then Registeel is the last two. They're all pretty passive, but these ones have much better defensive typings. They also can rock up, otherwise, doing pretty similar things. Moltres over Raikou, the correct opinion. Hey, man. Moltres is good, and Raikou is a little overrated. Reggie gets his ass. I'm gonna put it here. Reshiram, just for Ant, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in B tier. I don't know if I would put him higher. I think there's a ton of Ubers I would rather draft, but I know Ant loves him some Reshiram. But we just can't put him above Kira White, that's for sure. You got me one lower. I think Shaman Sky is incredibly overrated in Uber's draft. I'm going to put it in C tier. Definitely not bad, and the cheese potential is always there, but definitely not great. That's for damn sure. Silvally, put in B tier. Jack of all trades, master of none, but really good Pokemon in the hands of a creative builder. Suicune's also going to go in A tier, assuming it gets Skull back. If it does, hell yeah, brother. If it doesn't, he's bad. I feel like you draft Regirock a lot on Showdown. I do. It's a good low-tier rocker. And I end up always needing like a low-tier rocker / flying resist. So I always end up with Regirock. I also draft offensive steals a lot of times. So Regirock kind of like fills the defensive gap that a lot of those use. 100% can, by the way, because he's better. No, he's not, Ant. No, he's not. Don't you say such things. Next up is Bulu. Unfortunately, he's very, very ass. Bulu is going to go... I don't like that there's just random, just black spot here. Move it down here. Boo's not an alternate form. However, he is by far the worst Tapu and just a terrible Pokemon overall. Give him Grassy Glide and Close Combat and Play Rough and we'll talk. No, give him Play Rough. He got Close Combat. Give him Grassy Glide and Play Rough and then he can be the GOAT. But until then, he's super ass and don't draft him. Trapmon. 100% Trapmon. Feeny is going to go in A tier alongside Coco. Now, if this was Gen 7 days, I put Coco in S tier. Honestly, though, I want to put Coco in S tier just because, one, the Gen 7 prestige, but two, this thing in Natex is probably crazy, right? Because if you allow Hidden Power, it becomes that much better. It's probably incredible with Terra, right? And then it facilitating the future Paradox Pokemon is very, very nice. It's almost like a Gen 9 Legend with how well it supports those. And could you imagine Bundle Moth Coco? Good night. Good fucking game, dude. Like, that's a wrap. So... I think if and when Coco comes back, it's going to be a real problem with a lot of these Paradox Legends because Sun is a little bit more splashable on teams opposed to Electric Terrain Pincurchin. So when the actual good Electric Terrain Mon comes back, you're going to see some demons out there. Would you want to run into a Quark Drive Choice Specs Terra Water bundle? What switches in? Is it German draft leagues who thought Bulu was like S tier and Gen 8 draft leagues? They did have a different tier list from us. They were on a different wavelength, bro. They were on a different wavelength. Lele and Gen 7 would have been S tier, and Gen 8, it's A tier. The terrain nerf hurt this mon the most, in my opinion. It went from being ungodly broken to kind of mid. Still a solid Pokemon, very strong, but yeah. Not the worst, but definitely not the best. Oh no. Sorry. There you go. Okay, no. Next is Terrakion. Terrakion's a fraud. He goes in C tier. I know some people love Terrakion. The stabs are great, but he's either too slow and gets revenged by everything, right? Or you're running Scarf and he just doesn't fucking kill anything, and you end up getting 1v1 by everything you need to take on. I'm not a big Terrakion fan. It's a bad rocker as a rock type too. In most instances, I guess it forces pretty telegraph switch-ins. And there are the matches where Terrakion can pop off and like super win. But overall, I'm not super impressed. I'll be honest, I'm not super impressed. Okay, we're moving along right now. We're in the T's right now, and then it goes on to the Gen 9 Legends. So our Gen 8 and Gen 9. First up, we have Thundy Therian Formation. I think both of these Pokemon are going to go in A tier. Thundy T is the Pokemon you want to get as your Wincon, your Breaker, that Terra monster that just has no fucking switch-ins. Whereas Thundy I is a great support Pokemon, has an incredible speed tier. Prankster is really, really solid as well. And it can, break through teams and win potentially, but most of the time it's going to, function in more of a big nuisance support role, in my opinion. So they both go in A tier, but for different reasons. By the way, did you see the leaks that apparently show the new Pokemon stats, abilities, and types? I did, and if they're true, some of them are going to be banned. Or like complexed or something like that. Like the monkey, the ugliest one, the Monkey Dory guy, hate him. If he really actually has the ability that it says as his hidden ability, And in stats, he's gone instantly. Unbelievably broken. Unbelievably broken. Alright, next up, we have the GOAT in draft. That's Tornty. He goes in S tier. Enough said. And then we have Tornadus regular. I think C tier is about fair. It's definitely the worst genie by far. Maybe an Aristharian actually, but it's definitely a pretty mediocre genie. That's for damn sure. So waiting for that Rock Dragon type Pokemon to be late. We were getting Gen 9 League, so I was hoping Roaring Moon was going to be it. That would have been crazy. Rock Dragon is pretty interesting. They should just give Druddigon the rock typing, because then you'd have Sheer Force Rock Slide too. Just sounds cool, to be honest. Rock Dragon Druddigon just sounds like it makes sense. Type Null is also going to go in C tier. Really solid low tier pivot. Oxy is probably also going to go B tier. I think depending on how you like to play, you might prefer Oxy or Mesprit more, but they're going to go in B regardless. I think I'm also going to move down Azelf. No, Azelf's also in B, which I think is fair. Victini, that's my all-time draft kill leader. He's going in fucking S. Virizion is awful, just like the fucking Leaves, man. You know, we'll just put him down there too. These Pokemon are both terrible. They're looking at each other saying, man, we're really bad. Volk, I got a newfound respect for Volk when I used it in WPF. It's going to go in B tier. I love how not only strong this Pokemon is, but how bulky it is. It is so slept on when it comes to its fat aspects. Xerneas is super broken whether you allow Geomancy or not. Typically, Uber's Leagues don't allow Geomancy Zern, but it ends up being a monster regardless. So, I think that S tier is fine for him. Yveltal's going right up to the ban tier. Your league shouldn't allow it. We've allowed it a few times in BBL, and every single time I play Yveltal, I'm like, why the fuck did we allow this? Because there's nothing that can beat it. Nothing kills it. Nothing takes two. It's super broken. Then we have Shaman. Shaman's actually going to go B tier for me. I prefer it over Celebi, for sure. Maybe less utility, but a better defensive typing. And offensive move pool is also great. Sea Flare is a broken move. So, yeah, this thing with Terra is also going to be nasty. Solgaleo is also going to go B tier, and their turns are of an Uber. I definitely think it belongs right here. Zapdos is going to go high A tier, probably, for me. Personally, I think personally it's going to go in A tier. It's very close to S tier for me. Great offensively and defensively, but I think it goes there. Zekrom was a Pokemon I loved using in Ubers when I got it in the BBL tour that one time. Absolutely crazy. Then Zeraora, another S tier Pokemon for me. I love Zera. I love Zera more than I love Coco at this point, especially last gen with Knockoff and Toxic and its, disposal. If it keeps those things, it's great. I don't think it'll keep Toxic. Maybe it keeps Knockoff. I'm not sure how it learns it. But regardless, it's absolutely incredible overall. Zydog is not a Pokemon I'm super big on. We're going to go D. We're going to zoom through these last couple because I'm getting a little uber tiered out right now. I won't lie to you. Get a little uber tiered out. Zygarde complete, very broken. Zygarde regular, very broken. And regular draft, love this guy. This guy should be banned. Zamazenta is going to go in A tier. Not because it's good in Uber's draft, but because there's a lot of leagues that allow it in standard. And it's kind of like I like Darkrai Theorem, where I think it's too broken for standard. Or it's debatable allowed standard. I guess I don't agree with it, being Darkrai, because I don't think Darkrai is good. Or Darkrai should be banned. But I do think that Zamazenta should be banned. I think he's super broken. Then we have Zamazenta Hero guy. This guy's going to go in B tier because he's only allowed in Uber's draft, but he's okay in it. Not great. This fella, banned. Alternate forms. E-turn, always banned. This is a Cubfu, so he's pretty terrible. Calyrex is probably the worst legendary Pokemon of all time. Oh, Cubfu, get a C tier, brother. Probably the worst legendary Pokemon of all time in Calyrex. These two goats are going to go in S tier because they're so unbelievably broken in the format. Zarude was a very pleasant surprise when it came to WPF this season, so I think B is definitely fair for Zarude. Especially with SD. It lost Lariat, but Crunch was still good. Thoughts on Zamazenta with Body Press Complex? I think that maybe it's allowed, at least the hero form. But I don't know how I feel about that complex. I don't know, it's also still really good defensively and offensively, just naturally. It's strong, fast, and pretty ridiculous. Then we have Articuno. This thing's gonna go D tier. Then we have 2 goats going up here in A tier in Galarian, Zapdos, and Moltres. Then we have Regidrago. I think with Terra, because the option of Terra Regidrago exists, it's going to go in C tier. I don't think it can justify B tier, but I think C tier is definitely fair if you're willing to use your Terra on it. Lecky is unfortunately objectively going to have to go up here in A tier for me. And we have Cosmetic Forms right here. No, not D tier for you. You get to go down here. Melmetal. There we go. Glacier is also going to go D tier. This Pokemon is pretty darn terrible. Then we have some absolute monsters to go over. Spectre, despite me talking about it like it's not my favorite Pokemon, objectively it's very, very good. And I think it deserves at least A tier. Debatably S, like Calyrex, Ice Rider, which shouldn't be allowed, but I see a lot of Uber Sleeks allow it, so we're going to count it as allowed here. And Shadow Rider, which is objectively insanely broken, and we will not even discuss the possibility of it being lower. And then we have Origin, Palkia, Dialga. I think I'm just going to put these in A tier with the regular forms. They get a pretty substantial stat increase. Maybe Palkia Origin goes up to S tier because of the speed increase. Dialga Origin is a little bit tough because I can't run the item anymore, which it really does appreciate having, so a little bit more mediocre. C tier for Enean Therian. If it had Roost, it would probably be A or S tier. And then S tier for regular Enean. This is the GOAT. I absolutely love this thing. I think it's so unbelievably cracked. Then we have Koraidon, Miraidon. I think Koraidon is typically allowed in Ubers, but Miraidon is very broken. Makes sense. Chi-Yu. Meta, you're the Chi-Yu stan, right? Meta, you're the Chi-Yu stan. This one's ass. It's not ass. I'm not a big fan of its speed tier. It has like really big Terrakion syndrome for me, right? Whereas it gets revenge and outsped by everything if it's not Scarf. But if it's not like Specs or Life Orb or boosting item, it's not really getting the KOs that you need and kind of getting 1v1 by everything. So I'm going to put it in B tier. Not super big on it. However, Chimpo is broken. He goes in S tier. Tinglu, great hazard setter, A tier. Bochen is pretty ass, unfortunately. Live Wuchen reaction in D tier. And then we're pretty much done. We have these guys, but I'm not going to rank them because I don't know how good they are. We don't know anything about... Oh, Walking Wake, sorry. Walking Wake will go in B tier. Other than that, though, we're not going to rank these guys because I don't know much about them. So, yeah. That's going to be our tier list for these guys. Let's go ahead. What are we thinking next? What are we thinking next? Specs for the bulky matchups sometimes with Ruination is so cool. That's fair. I guess you could do that. And it seems Flame Charge Nash plus Shenanigans. It's just so hard to position that. It is so hard to position that. It's very, very slow. Okay, I don't want to do a super long one. Do we want to do a more casual one or a more draft-oriented one? Casual or draft? We have 14 people. We gotta get to at least 10 likes, guys. Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's do games really quick. This is an easy one. A little bit more casual, but definitely fun nonetheless. Okay. We're gonna start... Let's just start where it's at, right? I think Scarf and Sun is the best set for sure. That's definitely fair. Casual. Low tier hazard setters if you can get one. That might be one that we need to make. If you guys want to do more like low tier streams and you want to make me cool tier lists to do, I'm super down for that. I'm super down for that. But that would take how long to make. Items tier list? Oh, we can check out items. We can check out items. We'll do that after this. We'll check out items after this. If there's like a competitive items ones. I'm not ranking fucking Whip Dream though. You know? So if anybody can find me like a competitive Pokemon items tier list, link it. We'll do that one. Okay. Let's rank the regular games just from a casual perspective. Because I think I have some juice takes. Maybe some juice, maybe some not. I'll start off with Platinum. I think Platinum is a pretty easy A tier. And I would like to preface too, there isn't a Pokemon game that I dislike, right? There's some that I like way more than others. But there really isn't that many that I super dislike. So I think A tier for Platinum is fair. I think it is up there towards the tippy top of, you know, the Pokemon world. But I think this is fair. Next is my really hot take. And actually, okay, so let me preface it with this. I'm going to do my D tier. What I think are the worst Pokemon games, right? Blue / red and green. Yellow. Gold and silver. Right? I'll put Crystal and C tier. But You see, the early gen games, they're not for me, especially Gen 2. I give them more of a pass to Gen 1. It's the first tier list, or it's the first games. I'm okay. They're figuring out the format, or the formula, and they're the reason we have Pokemon. Hey. No. I know you hear Aegon barking. That means you need to bark. Okay. But I'm not a big fan of the games. Gold and Silver, I think, are terrible. The route design is awful. You can't get a fucking Murkrow or Houndour for your team until post-game for some goddamn reason. Nobody knows why. The level curve is terrible. The evil team is awful. Team Rocket without Giovanni is just baseless and terrible. It's not fun. The gym leaders all use Kanto Pokemon. The only redeeming thing about Johto is the cities and the music. I like the cities and I like the music. That's it. Not a big Johto guy otherwise. So therefore, I am going to put Heart Gold and Soul Silver in C tier. Heart Gold and Soul Silver is one of the best remakes in the series, but not one of the best games. It's just not. Because it can't be. It is a Johto game. And Johto sucks. Right? Johto really sucks. Hold on 1 second, my dad's calling me. Sorry, Papa Ferrello just called. He's home. He's home from his day on the town right now. So he was just calling to see where everybody was at. We anti-stan Johto. Fran, I think this was called not liking something. Anti-stan. But yeah, we don't like Johto. It's very boring. So therefore, I think because Johto is such a bad game, in regards to Pokemon, Heart Gold and Soul Silver cannot be higher than C tier. It is a good remake and it makes the original game better and more immersive because of the features and the falling Pokemon and the graphics and the music, but it is still Johto, so it is not fun. Cannot change my mind. I know everybody thinks Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the best games ever. I think it's just all Johto levels. I think it's super mid. Now, we go to the actual best games in the series. Black and White and Black and White 2. The story, the music, the cities, the Pokemon designs outside of a few. The sprite design, the little animated 2D sprites are the greatest Pokemon's ever looked. The game is so unbelievably good. It's so much fun. I could play Gen 5 over and over again. It's one of the very few vanilla games I can go back and still just play for fun over and over again. Gen 5 is peak Pokemon, and I will never accept another answer. Ever. I will not do it. Incredible. Next up, we have X and Y. I'm gonna put X and Y in C tier. Definitely not bad games, but they're like the pinnacle of average for me. Same thing with Crystal. I guess I didn't really explain that. Crystal was pretty cool for its time, too. I'm sorry, I keep getting interrupted. The dogs are going crazy. Aegon! It's Dad! Chill out! There we go. We're back. We're back. Okay, but yeah, I think X and Y is like the pinnacle of average Pokemon experience, you know? It's not bad, but it's not great. Aegon's barking again, but we're just not gonna be able to stop him. We can stop Snowy though, huh? If we hold you, you won't bark. So, you stay right here. You can even lick my hand or something. I love Gen 5, but at the time, it got so... at the time... It got shit on so much. Now Pokemon players love Gen 5 and non-Pokemon players hate it. Yeah, I feel like it got a bunch of shit at the time too because it was trying to be different. And Pokemon fans, despite asking for different things all the time, never actually wants change. They don't want change. They want the games to play the exact same, be the exact same, constantly. Over and over again. And Gen 5 wasn't that. And look at the next games, X and Y. The pinnacle of safe Pokemon game. There was nothing interesting about this game. It was a good Pokemon game. but it was nothing compared to the games before, in my opinion. Absolutely, and there hasn't been anything compared to it. Maybe Gen 9, you could argue. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I just want to stream. Don't let it snow it down, okay? Don't let it snow it down, okay? Okay. Alright, we're back. Okay, but yeah, I think it's the pinnacle of mediocrity when it comes to Pokemon. I always love Vanillix and Kling Kling. Yeah, I think that the Gen 5 designs get too much shit too. Again, I think they're different. And again, any like critique you have for a Gen 5 Pokemon design, you could use for every other generation, because that's just Pokemon game design. And if you don't like Pokemon game design, that's different, you know? I mean, Pokemon is a Pokemon. I somewhat agree. However, so many fantastic Pokemon come from Gen 5. Yeah, I think there's definitely some bad ones in the decks. There's definitely some bad ones in the decks, but I think the overwhelming majority of Gen 5 is like the best decks Pokemon's ever had. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. X and Y I have a nostalgia for. Maybe, yeah, I didn't play X, Y on launch. I stopped playing Pokemon after Gen 5 while I was in high school for a long time, and I came back and played X, Y after Sun and Moon, actually. So I kind of like skipped the whole Gen 6 thing. But yeah. Next up, we have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I love these things. Let's just choose Gen 3 games in general. We'll put Ruby Sapphire in B, because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are a better version, and then Emerald also, in my opinion. We're going to rank them, like, in the order in which I like them, too, I think. Like this. I guess this doesn't really matter. And then we'll go here. Here. Like this, yeah. Audino Gen is peak 5. Well, you are in big Gen 5 set. If you know it did bring Audino into the crux. But now Game Freak is now coming back and fixing the bad Pokemon like Baskin. Yeah, Baskin is definitely one of the bad designs, but you're right. They did fix it and make it incredibly cool. I think it's cool you get the White Stripe Basculegion in the DLC too. I don't know if you guys saw that in the trailer, but I think that's a really cool aspect of it. Or that might have been a leak that actually just leaked. Oops. I lose track. Next up we have Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon are a good B tier game, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are A tier. I think Sun and Moon gets a lot of shit now because like they're like, man, Sun and Moon just should have been what Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was, so it was like a waste of time, money, and blah blah blah. But like, I get it, right? But look at the 3-game model whenever they were doing it before. Look at Ruby and Sapphire. Look at Emerald. Look at Diamond and Pearl. And then Platinum. You're gonna tell me with a straight face it's not the same exact thing? You know? Sun and Moon were great games when they came out. And Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were better. They were enhanced versions of the game. Which is really, really cool. And, I don't know, it just made the game better. You play the same game twice, but it's just a better version of it, so why complain? I replay games all the time. I don't know. That's just me. I do think that the DLC model is better. But I think that Gen 7 gets too much shit for that when, like, everybody's favorite Pokemon game of all time is Platinum and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and things like that. Gen 7 is so good. After the feature-length movie-ass tutorial, so I never replay it. That's true. I think that's definitely the worst part of the game, is the first island. First island is awful pacing-wise, and it really takes you out of the immersion. And it takes a lot of people just out from playing in general. You know? Let me go and experience the games, personally. I don't know. Next up, we have Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. These are C-tier games. Another group of games that kind of gets too much shit. I think it's really fun casually. I'm actually going to put it in low B tier. I had fun playing this with my little brother and running around shiny hunting in it and beating the game without really having to think and having the really cool, dynamic Pokemon following you models. And, I love the graphic style of it too. I thought it was really cool. I like Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu a lot, personally. Next up, we have Sword and Shield. I think Sword and Shield is a B tier game as well. Kind of like objectively sitting in B tier. The story is pretty bad, but I had a lot of fun. I got really immersed. I loved the DLCs especially. I thought really carried it. It's probably C tier if it weren't for the DLCs, in my opinion. I thought those were great. I really enjoyed Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. They were super fun. Some of the most fun I've had playing Pokemon with my friends when those drop. Sword and Shield also has a special place in my heart because it was the first like Pokemon game I got to play with friends. I always kind of like did my own thing when it came to Pokemon, and all my friends like IRL never really played it. It wasn't something that I super publicized, but once I started playing competitive mons, I made friends on Discord and stuff like that. Getting to play through these games with them was awesome. So, we have Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. We could do Diamond and Pearl too. I think that these Pokemon are much, much worse than Platinum, but I think that Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is one of the worst remakes ever. One of the worst remakes ever. I 100% play through games again if they just added new encounters for the 3D games from an expanded dex. Yeah, I guess that's just ROM hacks, right? And that's why we all play ROM hacks, because the encounters are different, the game is different. But like with the same familiar feel. I guess I forgot to do Fire Red Leaf Green. We're going to go ahead and put this also in... I think C tier is where I want to put it. Right here. Again, good remake. It's the base of Radical Red, which makes it C tier at the very least. And then the last two are going to be S tier too. I love Legends Arceus. It is the most immersive Pokemon game of all time. I still go back and play it and run around. I think it's absolutely incredible and so much fun. And then Scarlet and Violet, I had an incredible time playing too. That end game sequence of like when you're down in, Paradise, or fucking, what do you call it? Area Zero. And you're fighting against the Paradise Protection Protocol and AI, Sada, Arturo. In that theme and all the Paradox Mons and the Arvin storyline with his fucking parents being dead and his dog dying and you're helping him and Penny being a bullied kid. I just thought it was a great game. I think people give that game way too much shit. But yeah, that's gonna be my list. Gold and Silver below Gen 1. Yeah, because Gen 1's at least the first one. Have you used Bax in League yet? I haven't. I want to use Bax, but I don't want to use non-Terrabax because I think non-Terrabax is super mid, but I really want to use Terrabax, personally. I really want to use Terrabax. Okay, let's see if we can find... Let's see if we can find a Pokemon items one. I think you suggest that one, Nate, right? That's it gets up. Hey, up is over. That's another really sad one, though. It looks like there's not a Pokemon items one. If someone wants to make me that eventually, competitive hold items tonight. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Oh, this is so long. I got it, I got it. Okay. So then we'll go, let's make one below. It's gonna be don't know. Edward below. There we go. You know what we should do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna farm you guys for a YouTube video. I'm gonna record this like it's a YouTube video and super upload this because I've had multiple people ask me about it. I've had multiple people ask me to do this. So this one is not gonna be as person interacted, like you guys interacted. Alright? Now, I might ask chat for like advice on like what is this item? Because I don't know what they all are. He's good. Okay, so you guys get to be a part of a YouTube video because I'm totally gonna cut this out and use this as a video, right? Because I don't want to have to record it or talk about it again. Like I know it all, like I want to do this again. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna have chat help me out for some of them because I don't know what all these shits are. I'm gonna have to pull up a team builder on the side. I might have to like look at what the items are and like type them in. Alright. Let me take my house to Area Zero. You know what? True. I'm gonna completely free Terra League and back is eating people? I'm sure it is. What the hell? I'm sure it is. That sounds ridiculously broken. Apricot. Okay, absorb. So I guess, Oh, wait, I can look at it on the Showdown builder. They have them, like, pulled up next to it. Like, this is fire. I can just do it like that. Okay, this is awesome. This is easy. This is so free. Alright. Demon, Grip Claw, Drip Claw. So true. I'm gonna use Drip Claw, Driplin. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna count down in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, OG Albani here, bringing you guys another tier list video. Today I'm actually recording this live on stream, so if you want to come hang out with us when we stream a couple times a week, come hang out with us on the channel. You can join the Discord server to be notified on when we stream, or obviously hit the bell button. But today we're going to be doing a much anticipated tier list that I wanted to upload as a separate video as well, because so many people have asked me about it, and that is going to be ranking competitive Pokemon items in the context of Draft League. I'm going to be going over all of these competitive items, probably pretty quickly, but I will be going over all of them and putting them in based on how good they are in a Draft League setting. Now, I will likely just group in resist barriers to the same thing. Other than that, though, I think everything else will kind of end up being separate. And yeah, with that being said, if you guys do enjoy, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're on our way to 3,000 subs. I'd really appreciate it if you help us out along that journey. All right. That being said, we can go ahead and jump on in. Now, I won't lie, a lot of these, I don't know what they are, but I have, like, based on their visual cues, but I know what they do, and I have a Showdown builder pulled up, though, so I can see what they are. First up is going to be Ability Shield, and I have seen this a few times, right? I have seen this used in, like, anti-magic bounce scenarios and things like that, in order to, you know, try and potentially get up hazards or keep hazards up or whatever it may be. I think it's a very niche item, and I think C is the epitome of niche for me, in the sense that it has very niche application, but it can come up clutch every once in a while, and Ability Shield might be one of those. Holder's ability cannot be changed by an effect, so, like, you know, Ability Shield Hattering I've seen potentially and things like that, which I think could be pretty cool. So, yeah. Next up, let's see. What do we have next? It looks like we have Absorb Bulb, yeah? Absorb Bulb raises the holder's special attack by 1 stage if hit by a water type attack, single use. This is going to go in D tier, guys. Yeah, this is unfortunately going to go right here in D tier. This thing is not really known for its competitive use. I think I might have seen an Absorb Bulb once or twice in Draft League history, maybe, and I don't even remember where it happened, to be completely honest, and that's how low it is. Next up is going to be, what, this little crystal? Is this the Adamant Crystal, and then there's the Adamant Orb as well? Adamant Crystal, yeah. So, I mean, Adamant Crystal is going to be the one that, like, turns Dialga into Origin form. It's going to go in D tier, because unless you're using Dialga, you don't get to use it. Same thing with the Adamant Orb. I'm going to go right here. Adrenaline Orb. I think this is, like, the epitome of, like, niche use. It's going to go probably towards the top of C tier by the end of this list. Really cool for, like, the potential of, you know, like, Intimons coming in and, you know, boosting your, you know, speed potentially because of the, you know, stat drop. You can even use it potentially on, like, opposing defoggers, but you'll see it on, like, you know, maybe, like, a Defiant Mon, like, let's say, like, a Tauros Bull. If you're expecting some kind of Intimon to maybe switch in, you can double in, get the Defiant proc, get the Adrenaline Orb proc, boost your speed, or on, like, a competitive Pokemon, if you're calling a double in, it's very, very viable to do so, which I think is really, really cool. So, definitely situational, but good. Air Balloon, I think this is going to be our first B tier item. I've run Air Balloon a lot more in this generation in particular. And the reason being is that offensive ground types are, like, unparalleled this generation. It is very, very difficult to deal with offensive grounds. There's not great ground resist. So having that one-time immunity is incredible. Also, like, the prospect of, like, you know, running into the Garchomp and, you know, having to take on ground plus dragon coverage. If you're a fairy type, you can completely wall out that Garchomp. And a lot of dragons in general are going to run just dragon plus ground coverage. And if you're a fairy type that can just switch in on both of those and be immune, it's going to be a really solid thing. So definitely really, really cool here with this guy. Then next up, this is Apricot Berry, I think it is, right? Let's see. Oh, I knew it. It was Apricot Berry. I swear I didn't look beforehand. Raises the holder's speed F by 1 stage for now 1/4 HP of less. That's I mean, this is terrible. It's gonna go right down here, where it belongs. Next up, I have no idea what this berry is. Is this an Aspire Berry? Let's see. It is an Aspire Berry, which is the freeze berry. Just run Lum. Maybe, and typically you're not gonna prep that hard for being frozen. And if you are, you're just gonna go Lum and have it be multi-use. also going to go in D tier. But I do think it's time we finally get our first real item, like our amazing item, and that's going to be Assault Vest. Assault Vest is an S tier item. There's so many Pokemon that really appreciate this. So many offensive Pokemon. This generation in particular, something that really comes to mind, something like Iron Treads is an incredible AV user, as well as Great Tusk, its, past Paradox counterpart. Or even Pokemon like Hoopa offensively are going to be ridiculously annoying to deal with an Assault Vest. AV Garchomp is another really cool option. There's really a ton of things that can take advantage of the item. Samurott Hisui with an AV has been one of my favorite Pokemon to use. So, yeah, incredible in general. Okay. Next up, we have a Berry. And I think this is going to be my instance of where I'm going to put all Resist Berries in general. If you guys don't know me and you haven't checked out the channel thus far, you probably don't know I am a berry connoisseur. I love me some Resist Berries and I use them very, very often. I'm going to make the hot take. I'm going to put in an S tier. Now, not just specifically the Berry. It's actually one of the worst ones. But this berry in general, or Resist Berries in general, are so incredibly important and so incredibly good in the counter team format. When I know what coverage my opponent can bring for me, and I can use that as a chance to lure and knock out those Pokemon, or use it as an opportunity to set up, or get a very clutch Defog or a Thunder Wave off, or whatever it might be, the ability to live whatever kit you want to live because of, scary attack coming your way and not being forced out is invaluable in the Draft League format. Maybe it's because I am the berry connoisseur, but I think that Resist Berries are incredibly nuts. Next up, we have Big Root. I want to say C tier, like low C tier, high D tier, because I have seen it used before, but very, very niche and situationally. I think there's going to be so many D tier items that I think it's okay to put this in C tier. Same thing with Binding Band. I always forget if Binding Band or Grip Claw, like what the difference is. Is Binding Band the one that makes you do more damage over time? Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even have it in the typically used items. Why would you do this to me? This is so sad. Hold on. Binding Band. Yeah, so they do 1/6 of max HP instead of 1/8. I have run this before, technically, but not very often. I think it's actually better than Big Root. Then, next up, we have Black Belt. Honestly, what I think I'm going to do for the type boosting items, I think I'm going to do the same thing, where I just put all the type boosting items up, or in one tier, just so I don't have to rank them all. I don't know, maybe I'll just rank them all because it looks better. I think it'll just look cooler to have more things on the tier list. We're just going to rank them all. We're going to put them all in the same place, right? Let's just do that. Might as well. Black Belt, I think boosting items in general are going to go in A tier for me. There's very often, especially in such an offensive metagame, where I'll be like, I don't really need leftovers, I don't really need boots. Man, there's no EQ resist. I'm just going to go fucking Soft Sand and just nuke something. I'm going to go, Mystic Water and really do a ton of damage. At least me personally. That's where I'm going to put it. Same thing with Black Glasses, I guess. Black Sludge. This is tough. It's definitely worse this gen, but I think that's more in an OU setting, right? In an OU setting, you're never going to run Black Sludge because of the chance that you might tear out of a poison type. And if you're running Black Sludge, even if you do have Terra Poison on a mon, it kind of indicates that. So you're always running leftovers in standard. However, in draft, it really is just leftovers for poison type. Unless your poison type can Terra, then you're always running leftovers. And it's allowed to Terra. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in A tier, because like leftovers is a more consistent item. It's just worse leftovers only for poison types, but it also really cripples things if you want to trick things, like trick Gengar with Black Sludge is obviously really obnoxious for a lot of teams. So really, really cool. Then we have Blunder Policy. I hate Blunder Policy. I do. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love the heat aspect of Blunder Policy. Like, I missed, haha, no you. But I don't like items that rely on you getting lucky/unlucky in order to function properly. I think this is like the definition of a C tier item. I think I'm going to put it above Ability Shield, but it's not going to go higher. Booster Energy, this has got to be a S tier item. It makes so many of the Paradox Pokemon incredible, especially the future Paradox mons that typically aren't going to be in a position where Electric Terrain is up, because Electric Terrain isn't good. So we're not going to put it up there, but yeah. Next up, we have, what powder is this? Is this Bright Powder? Oh god, you're going down Don't Know because you're banned. Slash banned. Your league shouldn't allow Bright Powder, and if they do, get a new league. Next is Cell Battery, and I don't even know. I guess this is the same thing as absorbable, so it's going to go in D tier as well. Then we have Charcoal. Charcoal's going to go in A tier. Honestly, do I think that the boosting items are A tier alongside the berries? Or no, the berries are, I guess, are in the other tier. I don't know if I think they're A tier. I think I'm going to change my mind. I think boosting items are much more niche than we're kind of letting on. And often there are better items. I think I'm going to put them in B tier. I think it's actually very fair to put them in B tier. What the hell is this berry? What the hell? Oh, it was Charty Berry. It's just a resist berry, so it gets to go up here. Cherry Berry, again, simply run Lum. There might be instances where you specifically don't want to get parried, but that's fine. Now, it is the opposite with Chesto Berry. Chesto Berry is going to be, I'm going to say, an A tier item on a lot of Pokemon. I love Resto Chesto this gen. I love really bulky offensive Pokemon running that Resto Chesto and getting back up to full and being an absolute nuisance. And you want to run Chesto instead of Lum because if you get status before you rest, then you burn your Lum Berry and that's bad. So if you're going Chesto Berry, you're just using it to wake up and you can absorb status and then rest it off later. So I think that's a clutch aspect. Chalon Berry, another resist berry. Right, and we're gonna eventually just we're gonna move all these like together and towards the back so that it makes sense. Next, we have our choice items. Our choice items are going to go in S tier, and they're actually gonna go in the top. Now, the order of which they are going to go is going to be Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Choice Specs. I think Choice Band, Choice Specs are very intermixable, to be completely honest. But I don't think it's, I think I lean Band because honestly, I don't know. I don't know why I lean Band. Maybe it's because U-turn doesn't have immunities and like Choice Band U-turns are really obnoxious. I don't know. Maybe it's because I use a lot more physical attackers. I think Scarf is objectively the best though. Being able to flip the speed matchup on your head and become an instant revenge killer is really, really incredible. So yeah, I think that, the choice items are just objectively top 5 items in the game. Like they're really, really good. But yeah, definitely really, really cool stuff. And again, thank you, chat. I appreciate you guys. I know I'm not interacting with you guys on this tier list. We're doing a giant tier list stream, but I figured that this one needed to be a video because a lot of people have asked for this one. So, yeah, we're going to put it in S tier. Next up, Chople Berry, another Resist Berry. Then Clear Amulet. I have a hot take. I think Clear Amulet is going to go in B tier for me. I think I would have said C tier before. And maybe I think it's like an A tier item, actually. I don't know. I really like... No, I think I'm going to put an A tier. It makes so many Pokemon absolutely incredible physically, offensively. There's so many times where I can just run Clear Amulet. I don't have to worry about being Intim pivoted anymore. I just get that like secondary effect of not being affected by Intim. And I can be a big, big nuisance to so many different Pokemon. So many different Pokemon. Those physical attackers just become so much better when you can't, pivot in your Landorus and only take 25% and you take 35 to 40 or something like that instead. It really does make a lot of Pokemon so much better. I like Clear Amulet a lot and I end up running it a lot. It really saved me in WPF quarterfinals being Clear Amulet SD's route. I couldn't get Chip down, which is awesome. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say A tier for it. Maybe a hot take. I think this is Copa Berry, right? Dude, berry knowledge. Maybe we should do a berry quiz. Go up here in S tier. Colbur. Then we have Covert Cloak. Covert Cloak is going to be an A tier item for me too, and I think it's actually going to be at the top of A tier. Still a little bit niche. It's not something that you're going to use every game. You are never always going to have a Covert Cloak user. However, it really invalidates some Pokemon. Pokemon like, let's say like a Garganacl become completely invalidated by Covert Cloak. But even in like a setting where like things are clicking Scald or Steam Eruption, especially if Scald ends up coming back in the next DLC like we think, Covert Cloak is going to be an incredible item to not get Scald burned, but it's also great for Lava Plumes and Sludge Bombs if I need to switch in and not take damage for those, or even like moves that like drop defenses, like Acid Spray and Apple Acid and things like that. You just aren't affected by them anymore, which is unbelievably valuable. Unbelievably valuable. Then what's this next berry? What's this next one? Why do I not know this berry? I don't think it's Resist Berry, so I'm going to put it in D tier, and that means it's bad, right? Chat, let me know what you think the berry is. I know I haven't been paying too much attention to you during this tier list, but let me know. Damprock. I think Damprock's going to go in B tier just because of the fact that, like, Damprock is really good on your Rain Center, but it's not good into anything else. So it's a niche item, but on the Pokemon that run it, it is incredible. So I think that's like the epitome of like a B tier item, right? I think it's the epitome. Oh, it's Custap? Dude, everybody say thank you to Amel for saving us, right? Video viewers that are watching this after the fact. Amel just saved us and let me know that that's Custap, and I feel ashamed as a Draft League player putting Custap in D tier because this is an S tier item. It's gonna go up here in front of the Resist Berries. Custap, it's not in the game right now, but when it is in the game, it is going to be absolutely incredible. This item plus sturdy Pokemon plus endure Pokemon plus Pokemon you just expect to take certain amounts of damage, having a term where you guarantee to have priority on whatever you want to click is absolutely invaluable. So many Pokemon use this thing and so many Pokemon use it incredibly well. I'm very happy that Amel saved us there because we love us some Custap. Thank you, buddy. Incredible item. Next up is Destiny Knot. Does Destiny Knot even have an in-game use? I know it if it becomes a yeah, so this is gonna be a D tier item. It just stops infatuation. Or no, it makes the other Pokemon infatuated if you do. So, I mean, like, pretty bad. Then we have Dragon Fang, which is going to go right here. And then Eject Button. Another really, really cool item. I'm going to go ahead and put Eject Button in A tier. I really love me some Eject Button. I think, like, the more you play Draft and the more you start to use these items and kind of think of your sequencing and things like that, the more you're like, man, oh man, I love me some Eject Button, especially on regen Pokemon, especially on those pivots, switching in, maybe that Intim pivot, that Spadef wall, that regen Mon, you come in, you take a hit, and yeah, you might get switched out, but you get initiative and you get priority, and you can get into that offensive breaker that maybe couldn't have come in otherwise. Maybe it's like you have, matchup where it's, let's say, what's a Dragon type? Dragon type, bam. Let's say you have a Komodo, right? Or your opponent has a Komodo. And they click Dragon Claw as you pivot into Tornadus. You take the Eject Button, and then you go out into your Hydreigon, because you know you can outspeed it now, your Scarf Hydreigon, but you can switch into the Dragon Claw or the Close Combat otherwise. I think that's a very valuable tool to have. I think it's really, really cool. I think Eject Button is going to go A tier for me. I think it's going to go A tier for me. Next up is Eject Pack, and this one's the exact opposite. I'm not a big Eject Pack guy. I think this is like the epitome of low B, high C for me. I think I'm going to go high C for now. Addison would be very upset with me. I understand. I know she loves this item. But it's way, way too niche for me to want to use it. I have seen some really cool aspects of it. I've used Eject Pack Overheat sets before. I've used Eject Pack Draco before. Even this most recent PBR season I've done it. And again, it's great for grabbing momentum when you're clicking an offensive move, but it's much nicher in my opinion. And a little bit less reliable than something like Eject Button or Red Card in my opinion. So, yeah. Now, more very niche items. We have like the seed items. They're going to go here in C tier. Pretty simple. I have no idea what this question mark berry is. Is it Enigma? It's Enigma berry, right? Enigma berry. What the hell does Enigma berry do? I don't know what Enigma berry does. It doesn't say anything because it's unreleased. So Enigma berry is going to go in D tier. See you, Enigma berry. I'll check you later. I'll check you later. Okay. Next up is Eviolite. I think Eviolite is going to... I don't know. It's tough. The concept of the item is an S tier item. So I think that alone makes it deserve going in S tier. There's a lot of Pokemon that like run Eviolite, and they might not be the best Pokemon in general, but Eviolite is such a good item that it makes NFE, not fully evolved Pokemon, viable enough to play in the realms of Landorus's and Heatrans and Dragonbolts, right? If my Porygon 2 now becomes one of the best walls in the game because I give it, a purple rock, that constitutes an incredible item, and I think that justifies S tier. I think that justifies S tier, in my mind. Next up, we have Expert Belt. Expert Belt is going to go... I think low A for me. Very low A. I want to say high B. Expert Belt, a lot of times the calcs are very underwhelming, right? And you typically would rather go like a Life Orb or a Choice Band, Choice Specs, or something like that if you really need that breaking power. But it's a great middle ground item if you have a lot of coverage on a Pokemon and you don't want any of the negative side effects of those other items. This thing has no drawback. You're not taking Chim, you're not getting locked into a move or anything of the sorts, right? You're not getting, any of the downsides to those things. Sorry, I looked over at chat and I got distracted. I can't read. So I think it's fair to put in low A because of that, because there are a lot of matchups, so that's great. Next up is Figgy Berry. All of these like super berries that were incredible in Gen 7 are awful in Gen 8 and 9. So they're going to go in D tier. That's just where they go. Another niche but great item is going to be Flame Orb. I think Flame Orb at the top of B is going to be great, just because of the fact that like those Guts Pokemon that use Flame Orb, or if you're Amel and you're Trick Flame Orb Spectrier for fucking Grimmsnarl or something like that, it is going to be really good on those instances, right? but the average Pokemon is not going to use it very well. Next up, we have Floatstone. Floatstone is going to go here in C tier, right in the middle. There are niche instances where you'll use it. Like on a Gastrodon, you might run a Floatstone because it's better than Rindo Berry, because Grass Knots now won't 2-hit KO you because they're like base 20 or 40 power or something like that. So I think that alone makes it, decently viable, because there are random Pokemon that can use Floatstone, even Hippowdon, right, for Grass Knots. It's typically going to be Grass Knots or Low Kicks that are going to be like, weight-based things that you want to be lighter for, in my opinion. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and put it in, middle of C tier. Next up, we have Muscle Band. Do not run Muscle Band or Wise Glasses. I'm going to go ahead and put these guys at the bottom of, I'm going to put them ahead of Binding Band. These are going to be C-tier items. There are instances where you might want to run Muscle Band or Wise Glasses, but the 1.1 times boost typically just is not worth it. You would much rather, if you're going to be spamming one stab, run the boosting item for the type, like a Magnet. If you're going to be running, if you want, you have a bunch of super effective coverage, run an Expert build. If you want as much power as humanly possible, run a Specs, Life Orb, or Bands, right? I think that's much better in my opinion, and I don't see a lot of use for going Muscle Band or Wise Glasses, at least for me. Then we have the Focus Sash. The Focus Sash is going to go right at the top of A tier. If this was a prior gen, I might have even put B tier. But I think Focus Sash in the lead slot this generation, where it's so offensive, is very valuable, because you get to scout scary offense threats and maybe trade 1-for-1. Or you can go, as a catch-all check and have something in the back if you can keep away hazards. Very clutch aspect of it. Or if you have the aspect of like, you have that Magic Guard Pokemon, you have Alakazam, or you have even, I've seen Focus Sash for Uniclus to guarantee take one from something. It's really, really cool. Oh, that's Focus Band? Okay, I'm sorry. Everybody's yelling at me. That's Focus Band. It gets to move even lower because that shit sucks. Goodbye, Focus Band. But yeah, Focus Sash is the better version of Focus Band. Sorry, we moved it down. Muscle Band, let's see where the M is. There's Muscle Band. We'll put it back up here because we already talked about it. There we go. Okay, next up is one of the incenses. Anytime I see an incense, I'm just going to put it in D tier. I have no idea what this thing is, though. What in the world is that berry? What the world is this berry? Gammon berry. What the hell is a Gammon berry? Gammon berry raises the holders to... Oh, it's just this thing. I'll put it next to the apricot berry. There you go. We'll put in the apricot berry. This is my interesting how much drive Amel will call. Amel is on it. He's a demon. He is a demon. Amel, do you want to join call and help me finish it? The people want you. They need help. They want you, Amel. You let me know. Okay. Next up, we have another seed. Gonna go right here in C tier. They have their niche uses. Grip Claws are gonna go right next to Binding Band. They both have their uses. I think Binding Band is probably a little bit better. Adamant, or this is the Lush Grisius, orbs and crystals. You wouldn't mind? Alright, Amel, get in here, buddy. Amel, say hi to the people.
Alright, Owen stream featuring Amel.
There. Owen video featuring Amel. You're gonna be in the video, buddy.
Oh, even better, I guess. Or
yeah. There you go. Okay. Did I share my screen? Can you see me?
Yep, I can see it. You're at the Abund berry, so it's just a resist berry.
Yes, sir. So Habon is just going to be resist. This is Hardstone, right?
Hardstone, so yeah, just a boosting item.
Gonna be
pretty nice.
And then Heat Rock is going to go same place as Rock.
Yeah, like for Torkoal instead.
Oh,
yeah,
don't
Boots
worry.
is S. I don't think we need to talk about it. Boots is S.
I think the only thing we need to talk about is the best item in the game, so it's going to go at the top of S tier. That's it. That is the only thing we're going to talk about, is that Boots is objectively the best item in the game, in my opinion. Boots, maybe you could say Leftovers instead, but I think Boots is incredible. And I think my take on Boots, I know a lot of draft, and I want to mention this in the video. I know I mentioned it earlier on stream, but I know a lot of people see Boots as like broken and then needs to be banned. I think Boots are a necessary evil.
No.
Because hazards are broken.
Because hazard, no.
Yeah, because hazards are broken and over-centralizing. Yeah, I can't tell you. I can't tell you how over-centralizing hazards are, other than like just go play Gen 6 and see how that feels when there's limited removal and there's no boots. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating to play.
I remember early Gen 8 where it was just used on stealth rock with Pokemon. There was this girl that pretty much anything can run it effectively.
Yeah. originally it was just like your, you know, your Charizard, Moltres, Talonflame type mons, or your flying types or fire types. But then like Boot Zero Aura was what you were running every other matchup, because not taking Hazard Chip on your fast Pokemon that are coming in and out constantly makes such a huge difference. Such a huge difference. So
yeah. Icy Rock, I would say, it's actually lower compared to the other rocks, because most of the time, like if you talk context, like say Obama Snow, Alolan Ninetales, sometimes you like clay, right? Because of Auravel. Yeah. Like the only time you want this rock is for a Slush Rush user.
But Slush Rush users are terrible. Yeah, but Slush Rush, there's not a good Slush Rush user. Titan is awful. You cannot convince me otherwise. I think it's a very bad Pokemon.
That's what I meant. Like use Ninetales, Aboma, or Vanilluxe as themselves. You will want the item. That's why I think it's worse compared to others, because there's less reason to abuse it compared to others. I do think that it still stays in B tier, but yes, I think it's worse. And now that we're talking about it, because of the fact that I think that Sun is better than Rain, I'm going to put the Heat Rock above Damp Rock too. I think that Sun is better than Rain this generation. In past generations, the complete opposite. Sun is pretty bad, but Sun is by far the best, weather in the game right now, right? So. Yeah, I can see it because of the Pro Synthesis one. What about more this is Iron Ball, yeah? Iron Ball is high C tier for me. That's niche. Yeah, I think it's like a high to mid C tier. I'd say probably above Adrenaline Orb for me. I feel like there's much more application for Iron Ball, whether it be tricking / switcherooing things, making yourself very, very slow. You use a lagging tail at this point. Oh yeah, lagging tail. I guess unless you want something to get hit by a ground move. Yeah, unless you want something to get hit by a ground move though, and you want to weigh something down, like to the ground. Yeah. Because Iron Ball would do that. Would be like if you want to counter a Trick Room team, but that's also very niche. I guess it's worse. I guess it's worse than I think Orb is better, but not by a lot. Like, yeah. I mean, Intimidate is so great. Like you're gonna see like more than like Trick Room or whatever. Yeah. Or more than Pokemon that you want to hit. And Nate in chat just brought up too. It's only useful for Trick Room now that Big Nugget does 130. Yeah. So you don't need to run it for like Fling sets. Nugget outclasses it for Fling. Okay, next is the Jaboka Berry, which is like Rocky Helmet, one-time use. Honestly, C tier. it has its uses, like to get that one random hit off, because the reason it's not like completely useless and you don't always run Rocky Helmet is because it doesn't need to be contact. Yeah, like Earthquake works, Rock Slide works, so it's niche, but if it's like just for that one-time use, it works. Yeah. No, 100%. That's what I mean. Like, I know that someone brought it against Kurt in BBL. Josh brought it in Kurt. Josh? Yeah, for Lugia multi-skill. And I can 100% see an instance in Gen 9 Draft League where Demon D-Knight is running around and he's sitting at multi-skill, and you need to break that multi-skill unless you sack something off, right? Also, does it bypass like Protective Path because it's a berry? I don't know. That's actually a very interesting thing. It does because it's a berry, yeah. That's pretty cool. So I think this is definitely a C tier item. I'm gonna put it above Floatstone. Has a fun use. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it above Floatstone, personally, because I feel like there's. Next is the Cassib Berry, which is like a ghost resistant berry, which is also nice, especially right now with ghosts running around. Yeah, it's just gonna go in S tier with all the other resist berries. I've just grouped in all the resist berries as. This is Kevia. That's the Key Berry, which is the first one. By physical move, which actually can have good use on Calm Mind sweepers. No, I think this is a C tier item. I've run Keyberry multiple times. I remember I ran a bunch of Keyberry Drifblimps with Calm Mind and Unburden in Gen 8. There's a lot of setup sweepers that appreciate just the random defense boost, and getting that guaranteed is really, really nice. So, alright, King's Rock, that's like a flinch item, with only good on multi-hit user. Besides that, it's not good. I mean, also there's a time with Fling when you use it, it's guaranteed flinch, but that's like one use. I think this is a C tier item behind the Wise Glasses and Muscle Band, personally. Only when you use multi-hit attacks, basically. Yeah, it's like a cloister item if it's not banned. It should be. I guess it should be, right? King's Rock cloister is usually banned. I mean, most of the time it's banned because they ban auto flinch items. Yeah, so I mean, we could just put it in the ban tier with Bright Powder because it's typically going to be banned in most leagues. No, I think that's fair. Lightning Tail, low-key, I think this is a B tier item. I think it's like right below the weather boosting items, personally.
because Trick Lagging Tail, especially in such an offensive metagame, I think it is very, very valuable. Especially on Pokemon like Grimmsnarl, I feel like it's one of Grimmsnarl's best tools. I think it's one of its best tools. Same thing with Klefki in this generation, is tricking or switch rolling a Lagging Tail or something. I think it's very, very valuable in such an offense-heavy metagame, because you're not just slowing it down, you're making it go last. It is moving you down to the bottom of the priority bracket, which I think is really, really clutch. I don't know, personally.
One of the things I like with it is using this item on a pivot to always guarantee the pivot last. Say if you're just looking, you put the so that you can just teleport last.
Yeah, no, 100%. People used to do that last gen with like Glow-King versus Slowking wars.
More useful than just being mid speed.
Yep.
But it does got the item slot, but it's the last separate, which is like focused energy and low health.
No,
it's
so
niche
really,
because it's better to just raw boost than
It's a bad item. It's gonna go in D tier. I'm not putting it in C. We're gonna put it down there.
It's the Lax Essence, so that's the same as Lagging Tail.
Yeah, it's the same as Lagging Tail. I mean, is there a reason to? If it's the same, is it the same exact thing?
It's the same item, literally.
Okay, well then we'll put it with Lagging Tail just for sake of consistency then. But I've never seen anybody run Wax Incense. Leftovers is gonna go in S tier. Yeah, it's gonna be the second best item in the game. It's just passive recovery.
Like boost, it's just an item that can go on everything, really.
And then we have Cherry Berry, right? Or no?
Lepaberry.
Lepaberry is also gonna go in D tier. In competitive Pokemon,
I mean,
there are technically niche uses on like stall teams. I think, like especially for recovery moves.
I can see a use in this generation with recovery move being 8 PP, so I can bump this to 18 PP.
Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll put it at the very bottom of C tier. This will be the bottom of C tier.
That's one use I thought about it, because I remember I like when I was helping MV, like when we were like testing rest talk on Ursaluna, I thought about Lepaberry to restore rest PP. At one time, but it just lose all of its rest too fast. But yeah, I would say I can have a use in this generation.
All right, next up we have Lychee Berry. I think like the pinch berries with like attack and things like that, I think those are high C tier items. So Lychee, Salic, and Pataya. I would say like B.
I would say like B at least, because they don't stem often, but they can be more useful.
Maybe bottom of B then. I was going to put them high C, but I think bottom of B is fine. I also really like Endure sets this gen. I love Endure like Salic and things like that. I think Salic is definitely the best out of them, but Lychee can be really good on like, you know, random unburdened mons, like let's say like a Hawlucha. Same thing with Pataya on like other like special attacking unburdened mons. So I think it's
that Salic has more reach than Lychee or Pataya as together.
Yeah. Next up is Life Orb. I think that Life Orb is gonna go in A tier.
I think it's A tier because this item can be either great for extra power or it can be like a trader, because you can just die by yourself. So it's best use on Pokemon that's supposed to die early for big damage.
Yeah, no, 100%. Or there's also the Pokemon like Nidoking, or
Magic Guard,
like Magic Guard or Sheer Force or whatever it may be. And those Pokemon, they fucking love having Life Orb because there's no drawback and insane power on those moves. But those are few and far in between. Other than that, Life Orb is a really big double-edged sword, and I'm not a big fan of it on a lot of Pokemon. Like, I'm never running Life Orb Chin Pow.
Normally, I would just use like a regular boosting item, like, you know, like the Expert Bell, not E-Bell, but like, you know, Hearthstone, Dragon Fang, those items.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fair.
It's just a tiny bit weaker, but there's no drawback.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the player. Next up, we have Light Ball. I think Light Ball is going to be a C. I think it's going to be a C tier item. In like a pretty low,
worthwhile, basically.
Yeah, it makes a terrible Pokemon viable, like able to be used, and I think that alone should put it.
It's still bad because it's still Pikachu, but at least it's usable compared to other not fully evolved Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like a lesser version of the Eviolite argument we had, where it makes like really bad Pokemon really good. You know,
like strong.
It makes one really bad Pokemon okay.
Like Pikachu gets like above like 400 special attack, but that's the item. Like, I mean, so other Pokemon can also reach this power with like choice packs or whatever.
One of my favorite games ever was the game where Kurt brought like Focus Punch mixed Pikachu against Liv's stall team in NCP last gen, and it demolished. Yeah, it demolished.
Yeah, because it's a steel thing, so Pikachu was able to use its power.
Yeah, it massacred. So again, if it can make Pikachu demolish hard stall, it's a C tier item. Next up is Light Clay. I feel like Light Clay is another B tier item. You think it's A? I think it's B. Why do you think A?
Just because be able to extend those screens, you can just it just makes it harder to stall them out.
So it definitely does, right?
I mean, it can be high B or low A.
Yeah, no, that's about where I think. And I was going to put it high B. Reason being is because while it is a very good item, it's not an item that you're commonly seeing on a lot of things. You're going to see them on your very standard screen setters. Because of that, it's a little bit easier to kind of deal with those things over time and kind of prepare for them. When I'm playing a screens Klefki, if I see it click light screen and I haven't seen leftovers, I know that shit's light clay. Same thing with Grimmsnarl.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit easier to position and kind of account for that when that happens. And like if I'm running random screen Rotom, like if I have Reflect, I'm not going to run light clay on it. You know, it's just a big opportunity cost to not have leftovers, not have that resist berry, not have a citrus berry, whatever it might be. So I'm going to put it in top.
I just realized Liv is there as well.
Hey Liv, what's going on? We're recording not only a secret, tier list stream, this is a secret YouTube video right now that we're making right now with the item tier list that Abel jumped in for. Whack indeed, yes sir. Okay. Next up, loaded dice. This is a C tier item. This is a C tier item to me. I think it's lower than Adrenaline Orb, personally. There are certain Pokemon that like using it, but honestly, there are a lot of Pokemon that don't like using it. I'm running Life Orb Breloom before I run Loaded Dice Breloom, because it's just going to be stronger. Unless I really don't want that chip. But there's not a lot of Pokemon that use multi-hit moves like that need to do a lot of damage with those multi-hit moves. They're there for a long time.
I mean, it's like if they want to upgrade a stat move a little bit stronger, next to the multi nature, also like Rock Blast and Icicle Spear. I would like to see Memo Slime with it because you can then use like both Icicle Spear and Rock Blast. Like, sure, not having that is bad, but you get a stronger overall stat and coverage.
Yeah, I think it could be better in draft. Yeah, that's definitely fair. Next up is Lumberry. Lum's gonna go right next to Chesto and A. I think it's right next to Chesto and A. I think it's better than Chesto.
Moss.
What the hell is Luminous Moss?
Plus special defense when hit by water type move. It's very niche, but when you know there's a water type attacker that you want like
so it's just a clone of Absorb Bulb. I'm gonna go put it next to that.
Yeah.
It's just go down here next to Absorb Bulb and the other one, Cell Battery. So that's fair. This is Lustrous.
Palkia.
Yeah, so it'll just go down here.
They made double item for Dialga and Palkia.
Yeah, even though they both do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's because the first the orb was the first one, but then they changed for the material for right now because of Legend.
Yeah, which is weird because I figured the new ones would just change their altogether. The way they worked, and you would be able to.
Guys, if Owen gets 25 likes, Emo will go through the top Wi-Fi players, so Owen has to see where he ranks among the ghost ranking in terms of Wi-Fi players.
Well, let's put words in your mouth. Let's try to get you in trouble.
I know.
Let's try to get you in trouble. She's not trying to get me in trouble. The other one just gives the boost. Yeah. It's just I guess you do kind of need both. Just give the boost, and the other one transform into Origin form. Next up, we have another boosting item, which is going to go here in...
The Moringa Berry is next, and I believe that's the special defense variant of the Key Berry.
I think it's much worse than the Key Berry, personally. I think the defense boost is much more applicable, and you're going to see that in a lot of Calm Mind sweepers, but I guess you could also see this on a bulk up sweeper. You see maybe a random Moringa Berry set, where it gets the Spadef boost, right? So we'll put it below Key Berry, but... Next up, we have White Herb. I think White Herb's a high B tier item for me. I'm going to put it below Flame Orb. It makes some Pokemon great. Again, your Sneaslers, your Hawluchas, a lot of those Unburdened Sweepers, they're going to love a White Herb. But other Pokemon typically aren't. I've even seen White Herb Dracos before, to be completely honest. So it definitely has its use. Then what is this can of beans right here next to Metronome? What in the world is that?
That's the metal coat.
Oh, wait, that's Metal Coat?
That's the Metal Coat.
It's just opened. I mean, it's a boosting item, so it goes right here. Next up is Metronome. How do we feel about Metronome in a Generation 9 setting? Yeah, it really isn't that good. I can't really think of any instances in which you're going to want to run Metronome anymore.
You have to spend the moves so many times. That's why it's just not direct. You rather have just a direct boosting item. And when it takes forever to get you rolling, I don't mean I don't mean like losing this with a roll-up set.
Yeah.
It's funny, but no.
I think it goes to C tier then. I think like maybe like right ahead of Blunder Policy. What is this? What is this avocado cube?
That's the Minkleberry. I believe it does nothing.
Minkleberry?
Yeah, I believe it does nothing.
How do you spell? Oh, Mickleberry. I have no idea. It says illegal and it doesn't give me a thing, so I guess he gets to go in D tier. Right down there at the bottom. And then Miracle Seed, another boosting item. We're gonna go ahead and put it in B tier. Then we have the Mirror Herb, Dell's favorite item. This thing, I'm going to say low B or like mid B for me. It has niche uses.
Wait. Actually, Minkleberry as a usage, it's a pinch berry, but for accuracy.
Okay, so D tier is perfect for it. It's the worst berry of all time. Endure Minkleberry, so I don't miss my Hurricane at 1 HP.
I mean,
just run wide lens. Yes.
Yeah, Mirror Herb is also like just beside of like intimidating a defiant user, but like the likes of Dragon Knight, which wants with Dragon Dance, the likes of like Quiver Dance users.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have also like J Bear when you use it with his Drifblim versus aim for Espafra.
Yeah, no, that was really good usage, and that was like the DPL Driftblim set that came in DPL that one time. Dell's been using it for Defying into Annihilates a lot, and that happened to me one time too, to where you almost don't want to run Defiant Ape into Bull anymore, because so many people keep doing that tech. So that's definitely like really scary. You'd almost rather run Inner Focus, just so you don't...
Herb yourself, that'd be funny.
That would actually... you have activated my trap card. But yeah, or I've seen like... Def Landorus is, copy Volcaronas as they quiver dance and live and then blow it up. So I think it's a really cool item in the draft setting if you're aggressive enough to call out what's happening. I think it's a pretty high B tier item, personally, for me. Then we have another seed. It gets to go next to the other ones. Mystic Water.
Mystic Seed. Mystic
Then we have Never Melt Ice. Lots of boosting items. The normal gem, the only gem left in the game. How do we feel about the normal gem? I don't know. It's weird. I have seen like really niche instances of it. Let's say like Schneasler Fake Out, but I feel like it's a really kind of bad way of getting your unburdened. Yeah. Usually just White Herb is gonna be.
So you don't waste your item on moveset and Fake Out plus this. Maybe like a Pokemon that struggles with a type but just want to blow it more faster. With
I have seen normal gem explosion.
Like Aura.
Mm-hmm. I've seen normal gem explosion.
I mean, if you were to use explosion, then you just use choice band at this point, unless you want to be free of move before boom.
Yeah. Like I've seen like explosion Landorus. I've seen like explosion normal and Landorus, but I don't think he gets explosion anymore, so it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I've seen Gyarados Mirror Herb as the closest setup.
I would say low C.
Yeah, low C is definitely.
I would say low C because there's.
I think it's. We'll put it next to Light Ball. I think that's a fair place.
Yeah.
Okay, next up.
This is the Akaberry, so it's a Resist Berry.
Oh, dude, I forgot what Akaberry looked like. How embarrassing. Okay. Then what is this incense berry?
That's just Oranberry. So also that's a psychic incense.
So it's just a boosting item. I'm just gonna put it down there. Okay.
Basho, Payapa.
Pekka Berry is just gonna go down here and D tier.
Before you put it there, before that, I just want to remind, because there was a time in DPL, I think it was L5, that used Berry Slow Brew, Berry Recycle Slow Brew to wall an Excadrion trying to lure it with Toxic. That was so funny.
Why not just be Lumberry, just because you're that demon and you've called it out? Or I guess it's like if a niche instance in which you're okay with being burned or parried, and it's actually kind of good, whereas you don't want to get poisoned.
That's the reason why I brought Playmore versus John in BBR, because I would already be burned and paralyzed in a space.
Yeah, but I guess like the other thing is though, like still wouldn't Lumberry just be better? Because if you don't want to recycle...
Again, I don't break it too fast enough. That's because I don't break it fast enough to justify Lum instead.
No, I'm talking about the L5 instance, right? With the DPL. Wouldn't it better just to be Lum because of the fact that, like, if you don't want to heal off the burn, then just don't recycle? Right? You can just keep the burn or the para. But then if you're in an instance where you do, you can always do so. So I'll put it in D tier. It's definitely better than the other.
mean,
like
it's just so like, it was fun. It was a funny thing. It was a funny thing.
Okay.
Right
Now, what is this?
Confusion. So Outlast by Lum.
So
Person,
yeah,
confusion.
Person. Okay, then Person's going to go in there. What the hell is this pine cone?
I think that's the Pattaya.
This is Pattaya? I guess that would make sense. Same thing.
Orb.
And then Power Herb.
Oh, when we were using Meteor Beam, this was used.
If we're looking at Draft League history, I think Mirror Herb is Power Herb is like a. I think C tier. I think C tier is fair.
Attack Lucha.
I think C tier is fair. Just if we're looking at like Draft League in general over the course with Meteor Beam,
because
Solar Beam techs, with Halucha Sky Attack. Like I think C tier is fair and like above these guys. I think I've seen more Mirror or Power Herbs than I've seen Key Berries and Moringa Berries. You know?
Yeah.
Now we have Protective Hats. We can do Punching Glove and Protective Hats at the same time too. I think they're actually low-key both low A tier items. I think
it's not. It's not, but just like the advantage of glove is that it removes contact entirely. So like basically some Pokemon that needs contact to work, like Urshifu's ability, like it's now cancelled. But I mean, I guess you still wouldn't want to run protect anyway.
Yeah, one, you're calling and clicking it, and two, if they are, then oh wow, they can't click it the next turn. I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Also, if they really want the 1.1 boost and they just have the protection versus their other physical move like U-turn, they would just use pads anyway, which is...
Yeah, that's why I have pads higher. I personally think pads is a better item overall. Now, Punching Glove might be better on things like Urshifu, fucking Melmetal, whatever it might be, because they get the boost, but...
on punching move?
Yeah, on punching moves. But if a Pokemon's not using punching moves, if I'm running Meowscarada and I don't want to get staticked by Zapdos, I'm running pads so that I can U-turn on it, you know? I'm not going to run Punching Glove for no reason. So I think it is a more applicable item to multiple things, you know? So, yeah, I think it's just better in most instances. Then we have...
Good Claw.
Bye.
Pokeaim would like to know your location.
Well, at my location, we don't allow fucking Quick Claw. That's what we're doing at my location.
Right.
Rossberry, I mean, it's gonna go low. And then Razor Claw is another flinch item, right?
No, that's the critical rate.
Critical
rate. Like the Scope Lens.
So it's wherever Scope Lens would be. So I think that's like C tier. I think like below Blunder Policy.
You need to run a crit build for this.
Yeah, like Crit Dra or Crit Drapion or something like that, which isn't the worst.
Or even like Crit. Yeah, also remember like the iDragon?
Yeah, Crit Dragon. Yeah, that's actually super demon. I want to try that in draft one time. Saw that in VGC and I thought it was super shiesty. Red Card, I actually think that Red Card is a high B tier item. I actually think like...
Yeah, especially in Gen 9 with the Paradox wanting to use booster energy like Valiant and Moon.
Well, even that, just like all of the crazy setup offense. Like those things come in, if you can take a +1 hit, like Red Card saved Dell from getting swept against a Quackavolt, like a Terra Quackavolt. Like having that Red Card forced it out. That was incredibly clutch.
Ricky for his own Iron Valiant with my pecs.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough time for him. Then we have Rindo, right?
Yeah, Rindo. Ring target. Next. So it's another like item for use with Trick. Like it's like to make fun of like Gastrodon treated with like Volt Switch or even Seismitoad.
Yeah, it's a niche item. I think it's another like C tier. Like ahead of Metronome probably.
As far as tricking item goes, it's like the more niche, but it has application.
There's something else like Zoroark. Zoroark uses it well this gen with like potential partners, you know? Especially with the Red Card, like Unburden can pop off too, total change of momentum. No, I 100% agree. I think Red Card's a great item this gen. I don't know what instance this is.
That's the Rock instance, so it's basically a Hearthstone.
I guess he gets to go up here in the boosting items. Then we have Rocky Helmet. This is an S tier item. I think it's better than Assault Vest, personally, because your moveset is still free and you're punishing physical attackers, or you're finding out if their pads are punching gloves. It's so important to punish so many offensive Pokemon this gen. I think those defensive items that don't make you wall, like, because you're not going to wall a lot of these threats, but if we're chipping these things down, it's so valuable for our own offense to come in and revenge them. And I think Rocky Helmet is a perfect example of that. Room Service. I forgot about this item until I saw the sprite for it. Do you remember when Scarlet or Sword and Shield came out and people thought this item was going to be crazy and then it was super ass, or at least very mediocre?
We have Iron Ball already, which is even slower.
It's It's if
like
you
only
want to use like a mon like
It's
Hoopa.
only
Yeah,
for
I was gonna say
Hoopa.
Hoopa is like the only Pokemon I see use this item because it likes to be fast outside of Trick Room and slow in Trick Room. So I think that
Also
alone,
use Magician.
we're gonna put it below Iron Ball personally.
Yeah, Iron Ball's better. That's the Rose instead, which is basically like Miracle Seed.
So another boosting item, I guess. There we go.
Yeah,
Roselli or
yeah, Roselli.
yeah, it's Roselli. Yeah, because this is Haban. I get Roselli and Haban mixed up. What the hell is this
Roll-Up,
thing?
which is Roll-Up is Special Defense Rocky Helmet.
Oh, that's the one that Josh ran. He didn't run.
Yeah, he was Roll-Up.
He was roll up because he hit the Lugia again.
No,
Niche.
this one-
I think it's better than Jaboka.
It's because Jaboka you have helmet, but this one there's no helmet equivalent for special.
Yeah.
Attacks.
Where did Jaboka go? I don't remember where we put it. Is this where's Jaboka?
It's like the grapes, the yellow grapes.
Oh yeah. Oops,
So
I didn't mean to do
why
that. Wrong item.
item.
Well, we can put these down here because they don't do anything. Next up is safety goggle. Actually, let me just put Salic Berry where Lychee and these are simple. It's actually better, so we'll put it ahead of them.
Safety goggles is good for Among Us.
Amoonguss, Breloom, Toadscroll. That guy. So we'll go ahead and move
I
this
would say
thing.
at least I see Lobby.
I think low B is fine. I think it's ahead of like these pinch berries, but I think it's much better than everything else in this tier.
Also, I remember like a match a long time ago was a guy that used a Paladin plus a Stoutland. He used Goggle on Stoutland to hit Sandra, so he can use Scrappy to hit a Ghost type with a fighting
That's
move.
super shiesty. That's super shiesty. Just did some testing and the Spother's ability opportunity stacks with Mirror Herb could be heat. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's dope.
I mean, yeah, that's because ability plus item.
Boots plus lefties make for an interesting top 2 in Gen 9. I personally say Scoff is the top, but Boot is uses in way more scenarios. I could totally see Scarf being better than Leftovers. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I think that Boots is by far the best, and then I personally value Leftovers a little bit more, because not every Pokemon can run Scarf, but almost every Pokemon can run Leftovers, is my rationale.
Technically, I think it's just like, yeah, in a setting, technically, if there's like a single item you think is good, you just slap in Leftovers, it will never hurt.
Yeah, no, that was 100% the case. That's 100% the case. I'm gonna move all of the repeat items out really quick. What is this? Is a boosting.
Yeah, that's at least the wave instead ability, which is Mystic Water.
Yep, and then
Snowball, which is like the battery of sand.
oop, I didn't mean to take that out. Put that back. There it is. And then Sticky Barb. What is this berry? This is Tanga.
The Tanga. This one is the Starve Berry, which is a pinch, but it's random stat plus
random.
2.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there then, because it's like a.
Okay. Wakan.
And then Yachi.
And Yachi. And after that, there's the Wave Incense, which is also Mystic Water.
Oh yeah, there's 2 instances that are Mystic Water,
Yeah,
which is so
there's
stupid.
There's 2 baby Pokemon that are water type. I believe it's like Mentike, and there's another one.
Mantike and
The baby.
I know there is, but I totally forget what it is. Okay, Shed Shell. I think Shed Shell's a B tier item. Hot take. I think it's again more niche, but it makes it to where like yeah, it is essential for like they're really the only counterplay to a lot of those Pokemon in a lot of instances. Wave Incense is the superior one.
I remember Marcus did that. Yeah, poll.
I did see the poll. I think Addison asked me that day too. Oh wait, Silk Scarf. I totally forgot this one. Let's go ahead and move those.
Shellbell is bad. Leftovers is better.
Shellbell's really bad. Shellbell's just gonna go in D tier. Shellbell's just gonna go in like the user's item. It is a gret Nuzlocke item. That's it. Next up we have Citrus Berry. I have a hot take. I'm gonna put Citrus in A tier.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think it is better than Black Sludge.
If you're gonna, it's gonna stay for long, but you want the instant 25, it's better than Leftover. But if you're gonna stay for longer, Leftover is better.
It really does. It really is contingent on like you calcing correctly, in my opinion, right? Like, and knowing your calcs, knowing what you want to take on, and knowing what you need to live hits from. Whether it be taking 2 hits from something or using it as an opportunity to set up against something. Like you need to take rocks, hit citrus, get back up. I've used Citrus Berry Blaziken before too.
Also, you're missing the spell tag at the third item.
Oops.
Which is also boosting.
Hold on, let's go here. Hold on, this is bugging me because I had all these next to each other and then I messed up. Okay, there we go. Then we have Smooth Rock. I think this is actually the worst out of the 4 right now. In general, I think what I'm going to do is like a mix of both. Because right now, sand is the worst it's ever been. Sand is awful right now. But overall, it has been probably the most consistent weather. Because of that, I'll put it at 3. I'll put it above Icy Rock. Because like you said, a lot of hail setters don't like running Icy Rock. Whereas, sand setters, they're a little bit more okay with it. Sand has been dominant in the past. It isn't right now, but right Extra Drill will be coming back, I think. So that'll be cool. I think second DLC we saw Extra Drill.
Yeah, pretty sure it's supposed to come back.
I think it's second.
Next is the Snowball, which is like Cell Battery, but for ice moves.
Yeah, it's...
So also, again, Niche, Starberry.
Starberry, this is gonna be D tier. I'm sorry. Like, there's definitely funny things you could do, like Harvest, Trevenant, and things like that, but like...
I mean, +2 is good, but when you don't even know what you're gonna get, that's risky.
It's not a very competitive item, and you might cheese someone with it. I know Ant ran it with Trevenant a few times because he thought it was really funny with like Harvest and Starfberry, but like objectively, a pretty shitty item, Sticky Barb, I actually think this is a very niche item that has a lot of usage on like trick mods. Like, yeah, it's like a cleft trick item. So I think putting it down here.
I would say it's better than Ring Target because anything can really get hurt at least by it.
Yeah, that's true. And you can whittle things down. There's just not as many... I guess really any Trick Mon can run it. And like Trick Sticky Barb Clef is one of my favorite sets. I think it's so good.
Clef is better because it doesn't reveal it anyway, but technically anyone can. It's just that a matter of... At least if you were to trick it to the wrong mod, it still works because it's damage. So
I know that this is Throat Spray. What in the world is this item?
That's the Terrain Extender.
Oh, another like low C item. I think like above like these berries. Right here. I think like below. Actually, low key.
I mean,
I think putting it above Iron Ball is better. Actually, I think I like it above Iron Ball. I'm trying to think of it, and like there's a lot of instances where like Rillaboom's, Pincurchins, Cocos will all really want to run that Terrain Extender item to keep the terrain up as long as possible for their team.
What I can see happening is that either Pincurchin or when Tapu Koko comes back as National Dex, use this as a way to extend your Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah. That's what I mean, especially in this gem with like Coco, I could super see more Terrain Extender sets. Throat Spray is going to be another like C tier. We'll put low B. I say low B.
For Pokemon that use Sound Move, it can be nice if you want that boost.
Yeah, I say low B. I'm gonna put it right behind Safety Goggles.
But also, this item can also go two ways because one, it's not immediate, and the two, you have to commit to it. Otherwise, you waste your item.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like, it does have its uses: Toxicity, Komodo, things like that, where it's pretty good. But
also Komodo with like Clangorious Soul because it's sound based, like Omni boost down or special attack boost. Also, Komodo is coming back, so we're gonna get Clangorious Soul again.
So then we have Toxic-Orb. We're just going to go right next to Flame Orb. I'm going to put it one above Flame Orb because of the fact that Toxic, like Poison Heal mons like Gliscor and Breloom and things like that are ridiculous.
I would say that Toxic also lost distribution, so technically you can try like a Fling/Trick set to like mimic a Toxic once.
I've seen Trick Toxic-Orb Bronzong before, actually.
Yeah, because it's a Steel type, so it doesn't reveal the Toxic-Orb.
Utility Umbrella. I'm gonna put it above Ability Shield. I'm gonna put it above Ability Shield, like towards the middle/end of C, which is about niche for me. Yeah. Now, you ready for the hot take? S tier weakness policy, baby. I think this item is nuts. I think Weakness Mickey is one of the most ridiculous items in the game if you know how to position correctly. I mean, we see time and time again where you have to either stress out because you're like, oh, dude, if this is weakness policy and I do 60% with my super effective hit and it sets up, I lose. So you have to play around all weird, or you don't think about it, like my game against John, where like I was like, it could be weakness policy. Nah, I'm good. I Hydro Pump the Glamora, it Rock Polishes, gets the weakness Pizzy, and then I lose. Like that instant double boost to both. It's just such a good, especially like on ghost types with like Will-O-Wisp plus weakness policy is a great option too. Like it's such a good item. It is a borderline insane item.
Their defenses with like Bulk Up or Calm Mind.
These are all like certified, can come to might be in every single game items, and that's the only reason that weakness policy is below them. The only reason.
Next. Wait, that's the wider. Wait, did you use a Mental Herb before?
I might have used the Mental Herb before.
And Mental Herb is the blue one.
This is Power Herb.
Mental Herb is blue. The one in B.
I mean, Mental Herb. Okay, with mental herb, we're gonna put it
It's
at the
still
bottom
good.
of.
It's still good.
Yeah, we're gonna put it at the bottom of B, and then we'll adjust. We'll move this up here, just like that. We already talked about white herb. Mental herb is good too. I've heard mental herb a lot.
I didn't realize it was that. Okay, next is wide lens, which is like good for low accuracy, and the last one is zoom lens, which is like that, but for when you move last.
Yeah, so this sucks. And with wide lens, I think wide lens is probably like a low B for me.
It's really if you're really afraid to miss a certain move and you're alright not having a boosting one.
I'm really not a big wide lens guy personally. If you're scared of missing moves, you probably just shouldn't be running that move, and you should be running like, you know, a more accurate one. But if it's like I need to hit this or I lose the game, so I need to have it, there are instances in which I'll run it. I remember one time Tony tried to run wide lens rock climb Tauros, and I said just run body slam life orb, and he said no. And then he ran fucking wide lens rock climb, and I was so angry. Not my favorite item in the world, but there's definitely worse. There's definitely much worse. So I think bottom of B is fair. But yeah, I think that's our item tier list. Emil, do you have anything to say to the YouTube viewers or the people in stream right below? There you go. Let me know what you guys think of our item tier list. Again, thank you to Emil for jumping in halfway through and giving us thoughts. That always makes it way more fun. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy today's tier list video, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel. Like I said, on our way to 3K subs, so I'd really appreciate it. And then really quick, I am, of course, going to shout out our channel members, and there's a lot of them right now, so big thank you to you guys. Let me go ahead and pull it up. First up, we're going to start off with our big on tier members. We have Kaz, Fungal, Tiger, Aaron, Danny Mac, Endless, Brody or Odds Are, Matrix, Goose, Zeke, Olivia Sama, and D-Double. Then in our Shelgon tier, we have Young Citrus and Thriller. Then our Salamence tier, we have Bick, we have Noah, we have Fat Halpert, sorry, and we have Noah. I think I already said that. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and yeah, I'll see you guys next one. Later. Let's go! Look at that. I didn't even have to actually record on my own time. You guys helped me out recording in the middle of the stream, so that's really cool. I am a bit tired. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours, so I actually think that's where I'm going to end stream today too, guys. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and I appreciate... Oh, what'd you say?
I miss Clark. I'm back.
Oh, did you leave? No. But yeah, I'll just let him know we're going to end stream for the day. We did a couple really big tier lists, so I think those kind of took it out of me. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours. I'm going to go relax for a little bit and help my dad on the lawn, I think, because I feel bad he's out there working and I'm not helping him. So I'm going to jump off. Thank you to Kaz for becoming a new member. I really appreciate you. I know you've been teetering on the fence for doing it for a while. I do really quick. I didn't put like a command in yet, but I am going to drop our little store link if you guys want to go check it out. Bam. If you guys want to grab some merch, I'd really appreciate it. I think it'd be really cool to see people running around with Carolina Roaring Moon merch. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later.
Well, you just got a new Shelgon.
Remember, I got it. Nate, thank you for becoming a Shelgon member. I was literally clicking the end stream button. Emil caught it too. Thank you for becoming a member, bro. I appreciate it. If you're in the Discord server and you have like a different like Discord name, please ping me so I can get your role in there. Because I'm sure your name isn't first and last name on Discord. But thank you for becoming a member, bro. I really appreciate it. And yeah, now I'm gonna end stream. But thank you, dude. I appreciate it. You got me right before I ended. I'll see you guys next time.